Anyway, welcome you guys, everyone, to game number 1. The Viper versus Mr. Yo. Playing on the left-hand side and right-hand sides, respectively, for the final quarterfinal of Warlords. This is the best of 7 for civilizations. We'll see Vikings for the Viper. Mysterio is going to be playing with Persians. Let me just remove Viper's GL's prefix over here. There we go. And keep on going. So what to expect here? We have seen Vikings take already on Japanese before. We have seen Vikings take on Italians before. I don't remember if we saw Vikings take on Portuguese. But we'll see if Vikings can take on Persians as well. For these civilizations, and starting with Mr. Yo, the player is going to have twice the HP on TCs and docks that work 10, 15, and 20% faster in the feudal castle and imperial ages. They begin with 50 extra food, 50 extra wood. And for the team bonus, for the blue player, we're going to have 2 bonus damage from Knightland units against archer type units. On the left hand side, for the Viper, we have for Vikings, free will battle and handcart, which makes their economy so strong. In addition to that, we'll also see for the red player civilization, 15, 20, and 20% cheaper gunpowder units in the feudal castle and imperial ages. While for the team bonus, we also have for Vikings 15% cheaper docks. And I think that's going to be about it, right? I don't know if I mentioned 20% extra HP on infantry units, but that is, you know, very unlikely to make too much of a difference over here whatsoever. So very soon we'll see the players get to the feudal age, and that's when things get really interesting. Now let's take a look at the map generation first. Do Vikings have an advantage of water maps? Vikings are a naval civilization. Yes, they are an infantry and naval civilization, while Persians are a cavalry civilization, but they can be good on these types of maps because of their docks working faster, have an extra HP, which can enable potential comebacks if you end up losing water, and the extra resource they start with. But eventually, you know, if both players, like if the Persian player is unable to suppress Vikings, then the Viking player is going to eventually come out on top because they save resources for every boat they go for. So eventually that more than offsets for the 100 extra resources the Persians begin with or so, and even the faster working docks, which you can only take advantage of as long as you have enough resources to keep the units. For the map generation, we'll see from Mr. Yo, he's got both these goals on the back, which is great. We're gonna have a stone towards the south over here, which could potentially be exposed to water units. And that'll be about it. He doesn't seem to have any safe woods though, so it's not great. Meanwhile, for the red player on the other hand, we'll see that he's got gold forward over here, but it's too far away from the shoreline. Over here, this gold and this stone, these are going to be too far away from the shoreline to ever be, you know, denied by Navy units, unless we're talking about Galleon. But one thing that we do have for the Viper over here that I do like is the wood line, which is completely safe. How fitting, we have the Norwegian player playing with Vikings over here. As both players are going out to the field age, we have a 23 seconds or so head start to it for the Viper. 24 seconds head start for the Viper. So, we'll enable predictions for game number 1 before I forget more. Before I forget further. Who wins game number 1? Option 1 is going to be Mr. Yo, to respect the colors of the game. And option 2 is going to be the Viper, the snake. You have 5 minutes to get your predictions going. Go nuts. Never saw someone drawing an arrow the way you do, with a tip first and then the stem. Yeah. And then the stick. Usually you see people doing like this, right? But yeah, I don't know. It never looks good to me because I always like kind of miss the tip of the stick. So it kind of looks weird. So I just prefer to do it like that, and then calculate the center. It's just for this though, interestingly enough. If I had to do it on paper, I would actually do it the other way around, so I'm not really sure why I do it like that. Probably would be better to do it to do the other way around. The stick first and then the point at the end. You like rainy weather, so everything is the other way around. Yeah, I'm the opposite guy. That's my life. I just play opposite 100% of the time. Opposite day every day. I am strange, yes. Viper's going up the north and Mr. Yo. The great thing about this generation is that because they are in opposite corners, it doesn't really matter if they go up the north or down the south. It's going to be a somewhat similar travel distance for the galleys. But Mr. Yo! Mr. Yo's making a play for the Castle Age and he's got a transport ship on the way. Okay, I was not expecting this whatsoever. The Viper will then end up taking all the fishing ships down. Mr. Yo's going for something completely out of the box here. And we'll see if he can make it work. Once he gets there, he had to sell 100 stone, but once he gets there, he's going to transport the villagers. There we go. He'll be able to go for a TC, and he'll just try to make a play for land, because if he tries to play for water over here against Vikings, it's going to be too difficult. It might not be possible for him to wound water whatsoever, so because of the reasons we stated earlier.
Oh my dear.
Here we are. Nice defense from Mr. Yo, utilizing the defender's advantage to keep his fishing alive. He's got another fire galley coming out, should be able to push this galley away from the Viper. Now it seems like the red player might be able to get one fishing ship down over there. He's got to be careful. Mr. Yo's got the fishing ship and he loses it. But it's not too bad. He's got 4 left and he will end up 3 left and he will end up pushing the Viper away from here. And check this out, Mr. Yo transported the villagers and he's not going for an extra TC, not yet anyway. He's got instead the monk coming out for the relic and a Doc 4 on the way to target the Viper. Very, very interesting tactic over here. Mr. Yo is coming in with a plan over here. Not to be the player to improvise against a clearly strong civilization over here. Is going to try to go for a very calculated, very specific strat over here that the Viper seems to be aware of already. He's already spotted the Doc. As the Viper gets to the Castle Age, he's got the War Galley upgrade. Now he's got fire ships as opposed to fire galleys. And he will not push in the Viper away from here. Now the Viper could potentially make a play for longboats. Once he gets to the Castle Age, of course, that's going to be very, very strong against fire ships. But it's going to take a good amount of units. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, he's got 2 docks and he's producing from both of these. So he's just trying to prevent the Viper from getting to a good amount of longboats. And then on the right hand side, Zera's gonna keep on losing a few fishing ships over here. Might not be the worst thing ever. Might not be the worst thing in the world over here for the Viper. For Mr. Yo, actually, the Viper was going to end up taking the fishing ships no matter what. And basically, Mr. Yo is just gonna push the Viper away. At this point in time, with 7 fishing ships, the Viper's ahead by 7 workers. And he's getting to the center. He's got a dock on the way. He's going to end up losing a bunch of the fishing ships over here as well. The shot over there is going to connect against Mr. Yo's units. However, he still has enough fire galleys over here, fire ships at this point, should I say. Take on the fishing ships. And all these are going down. The Viper will get caught up in economy with Mr. Yo. And this is a very, very effective strategy so far from the Bull player. And as the Viper is trying to make a play for longboats, he's managed to get 5 out so far. Mr. Yo is not going for any extra Navy units anymore. And at this point in time, I would probably like for him to try and make a play for, you know, war galleys, perhaps. If he's going to be expecting longboats, war galleys are going to be better once he gets to a good amount of units. But let's take a look at this. We see a conversion coming out for Mr. Yo and the Viper. He's got only 1 villager left at the center, and very soon, not a single villager left anymore. The conversion over there does not connect. And now, this monk is being targeted by the scout, but the scout was very low HP, so in the end, it goes in favor of Mr. Yo and the Viper. Well, the Viper is going to try to get the conversion over here. Beautiful quick walls for the red player. Ends up warding off the scout from Mr. Yo. And now we see the conversions coming up. Once again, targeting each unit. We're gonna see the monk in the end go down for the Viper. And while it was a very interesting play over there to see for the red player, he will be the one to lose the village at the center in the end. And it seems like Mr. Yo will be the only player with the second TC coming out. While the Viper is trying to get water control, and as we already established, longboats will be very, very effective against fire ships. So it is understandable, given the units that he has seen from Mr. Yo, that he's committing to longboats 100%. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, if he made a play for war galleys, should be able to take on the longboats over here. And this might actually be very, very good for Mr. Yo in the end. Fish just coming out. Come on, Yo, there's no way. This is working out. Duck's going down though. Oh, wait a moment though. What happened over there? Mr. Yo did not pay attention. He had vision of the ship, so he could see it, but he didn't notice. And now, all right, we see the transport ship potentially go down just in time. The Viper's going to land the units. Yes, sir. But Mr. Yo is aware of this. He knows about the villagers, so now he can send his units over. He's got a siege workshop coming in. Yeah, and there's a TC on the way, but here is Mr. Yo. Bring the scout over there. Bringing a few villagers into the mix as well. The Viper doesn't seem like he'll be able to get the TC up over here. At the very least, doesn't seem like he should be able to. But that villager going down to the scout already. And these villagers being targeted one each by Mr. Yo. It seems like the Chinese player has found a way to counter the Vikings. Even if the Viper will end up taking the fire ships down over here, Mr. Yo might not rely on water anymore to potentially take this game. We'll take a look at this. We see the conversion coming out from Mr. Yo as well. And the Viper, there is no way this TC comes up, right? There's no way. He converts a unit. Now we see the conversions coming out from the Viper, but there's a magnet on the way over here as well. So long as Mr. Yo keeps the magnet beyond the range of the longboats, be careful. Longboats will take down the magnet if he does not pay attention, but so long as he keeps this away, he should be able to prevent the TC from coming up, right? Yes, so now the Viper sending the one villager up to try and fight the magnet. Yes. And that's another village going down. A very low HP villager left over there. And the Viper gets pushed away. That TC is not coming out. Not today, not tomorrow. Mr. Yo, with 2 TCs, already has been pulling a substantial villager lead. And at this point in time, Mr. Yo finds himself 19 workers ahead compared to the Viper. What a great, great game from Mr. Yo over here. The mastermind. With a fantastic strategy. End up denying the Vikings on migration. He's not sealed the deal just yet, mind you. There is still more water presence for the Viper compared to Mr. Yo. But in the end, if Mr. Yo is able to transition most of his economy to the center island and does not rely on his starting island, then water control is not really going to get the Viper too much, right? And let's take a look at the scouts coming up over here. We're gonna see the Mon go down over there. Now Viper's gonna try to target Mr. Yo's scout, and in the end, it's going to end up losing both his Mons. 200 resources down the drain. Resources the Viper cannot really afford to lose given his strapped economy. Very, very constrained right now, and Mr. Yo is paying attention, so he will be targeting the villager over here, and the Viper is just trying to micro the TC up over here, but it's going to be pretty difficult, of course. In the end, seems like he'll be able to do it, but it's just so late compared to Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo already has 2 TCs up. He's got more mountains, and that TC came up for the Viper, and it's almost destroyed already. You know? There is another magnet on the way for Mr. Yo, and he can start putting pressure from the right-hand side over here, around the wood line, which will be too far away for the Viper's longboats to really reach. So it doesn't seem as if the red player will be able to keep the TC up over here, as now Mysterio is going to have the second mangonel come out. We'll see also the blue player go for some extra military at the center, and this is beautiful. With the monk over there, he doesn't even need the second mangonel because all he's got to do is just keep the villagers beyond the reach of the TC, and that's going to be it. The Viper loses the TC. He's just been scrambling this game. These villagers just been scrambling to get a hold of the center. But Mysterio, he's looking great. He's got a stronger economy. Will be the first player to click out to the Imperial Age as well. Yeah, and we see a stable come up over here. Very soon we'll see Knights on the way. Potentially once it gets to the Imperial Age, see a Cavalier on the way, and the Viper manages to get enough resources to get a castle up. This is not working out. This is not working at all. The Viper might get some villages down over here, sure. Oh! It's open! It's open! The Viper! Open this! Trying to get... Oh, man. The castle! The castle gets denied! The Viper's only chance, which was a very small chance, by the way, of taking the center over here, completely falls flat. Does manage to get enough resources to click up to the Imperial Age, though, but Mysterio has already clicked up. Yeah, and the Viper's gonna try one more time. Not the guy to give up easily. The Viper does have a TC coming up at the center up in the north and a castle. And Mysterio's got no idea about this. Oh, he knows, actually. Yes, he keeps the monks roaming around. This is like mobile outposts. Let's take a look at the conversions coming up over here, and Viper cannot catch a break. He simply can't. Mysterio's gotta be careful. He's going to lose the monk over there. And of course, you know, the blue player, once he gets to the Imperial Age, he's gonna start pumping trebuchets because he's got a minute and 34 seconds head start to the Imperial Age. He'll be able to get the trebs out before the Viper is ever able to queue the first one, right? And Mysterio's coming over with a knight. It's unlikely he'll be able to make anything happen over here because of the longboats. The Viper's done a really good job keeping the buildings close to the shoreline, so longboats can provide some protection, but still, once again, it doesn't matter. Mysterio, he's got a bunch of villagers over here, should be able to get a castle up. So that's going to be 2 castles for him to produce trebuchets from. Let's get him the university over here to get chemistry. Potentially bombard cannons. So we'll see a castle come up for Mysterio, and we'll see a siege workshop come up for him as well. We'd love for him to try and use one of these villagers to get a siege workshop up. Regardless though, Mysterio gets to the Imperial Age, and we should see a trebuchet already queued up, and he is not going for it. But the Viper's going to call the GG because he knows exactly what's coming up. And guys, game number 1 in this best of 7 quarterfinals between the Viper and Mysterio goes in favor of the Chinese player. 1-0, Mysterio up. The Viper down over here with a civilization that so far has been looking extremely effective. Mysterio finally found a viable counter strat over here. Very good KD for Mysterio. In the end, it's going to be 3-2. Exactly. We'll see for the economy, a stronger economy for Mysterio, collecting about 3,300 extra resources, with a higher villager max count as well as a higher total villager count as well. Ended up losing only 4 villagers over here, while the Viper ended up losing about 14, and that is without taking into account the fishing ships, of which the Viper created more of and ended up losing all of 2. And welcome everyone then to the next game of the series. And Mysterio, first thing off, he will send the villager forward to try 2 villagers forward actually to try and lame some resources. Meanwhile, the Viper on the other hand just will play standard over here. He's going after the elephant first. You know, and Mysterio's got to be careful over there. Now the Viper's aware of the villager. And the bull player's got to be careful over here simply because... Oh, that was not the best elephant lure though. As the Viper was paying attention over here. But yeah, he's got to pay attention, Mysterio that is, because when 9 villagers start over here, it's much harder to deal enough damage over here by the 9 resources than it is on a 3 villager start. So we have the walls coming up for Mysterio already. He's going to try and get the palisades up around the berries. Then on the left-hand side, the Viper's already trying to push zeros over here to try and prevent Mr. Yo from getting to taking the zeros down. And it seems like in the end, the Viper's gonna be fine. The most damage that we could see, and now Mr. Yo's going back, right? He kind of took the chance over there. He went with the villager over to the right-hand side, trying to find some of the huntables, but he couldn't. Oh, he did send the villager over the left-hand side, though. And that is great. That is huge. Now, Mr. Yo is gonna try and target the Viper scout. Not yet. In the end. Doesn't have taken 2 of these zebras down, though. So the Viper's going to collect 3 zebras out of 5. The elephant. And the berries will be denied over here. Ideally, Mr. Yo wants to go also for... yeah, for some walls up over here. Right? Around the berries from the Viper. As it's already down on the right-hand side. Around the goal of the Viper, sorry, up in the north. And ideally, he wants to go also for some walls over here. He's gonna try. You know he will. There we are. More villagers coming forward from Mr. Yo. Wow. The Viper's already on his way to the village, and Mr. Yo's bringing a crap ton of villagers over here. What is he really expecting to do? He cannot trush. He's in the Dark Age. He's just gonna try to bring up the heat. Just gonna try and get a villager war over here. Let's take a look. It seems to me like he might be able to come in. He's coming in right there. He's gonna be able to walk away with a weak villager. Not quite, so that's one villager going down. And the Viper, garrisoning his villagers, will be completely fine. Oh, and the quick walls from the Viper are beautiful. Take a look. He traps the villagers from Mr. Yo by utilizing the house foundation over here. Or the house, rather. How good is this? The Viper masterpiecing. Mr. Yo over here will be able to keep these villagers trapped and completely idle. And of course, once he gets to the village, he'll be able to go for a tower as well. So all he's gonna do is just keep the house up. And he's bringing the 3rd villager over here to make sure that he gets it. And well, archer range actually, no tower. Fantastic. There we go. Extra villages coming over from Mr. Yo, and the archers are already on the way. The Viper's looking great. Might be behind by about 4 workers, but that is actually less than the amount of time that it takes for the TC to research the next stage. Check this out. Check this out. That was so close. The Viper was trying to get the house foundation up over here and block the villager. Yeah, now he's gonna have to hop back into the house. Oh! Mr. Yo manages to fail with the majority of the villagers. Yeah, he's actually going to fail with them all. That was so close though in the end. Now Mr. Yo turns around and pushes the archers away. He's going to be on his way to the castle. He manages to save the majority of the villagers. He only lost 1. The weak one that we saw earlier. But that was a little bit like dropping the ball, I would say, from the Viper. Over there. But yeah, he just tried to get the full masterpiece. He ended up getting half of it. Regardless though, Mr. Yo is going back home. He's going to be completely fine over here. By the time he gets to the village though, he's gonna fall behind by a villager or so, or that should be the case anyway. Because the villager lost for the most part. He's not really gotten too much LTC time. And now with the barracks on the way, Mr. Yo will have what he needs to go for a stable once he gets to the village. So we'll see that. We'll see spearmen, right? Could potentially make a play for archery himself as well, but given the walls he's going for, Mr. Yo doesn't really have access to any goals. This one over here is super forward. So he wouldn't be able to collect from this one, and then this one is forward as well, so he cannot collect from this one. So much real fighting for just 1 KD? Yes. I was just thinking how much less Liminal Scotch there's been with 9 villagers start. It's been a lot less. It's been a lot less. In the end, Mysterio does end up kind of getting away with some laming, but it shouldn't take too long for the Viper to free this up and start collecting the berries. You can see he only needs to take 2 palisades down, and then he can just collect fine. So it's not the worst. Blacksmith's coming up. Mysterio, he's got the archer range actually. So skirmishes only. I was not really expecting the archer range necessarily because the lack of gold, but if he plays for skirmishes, of course he can go for it. It's just that these units will not... Like, you defend only with skirmishes, right? He's not gonna go forward anytime soon and start putting pressure against the Viper. And the Viper, by the way, he ended up getting a little bit of extra idle TC time over here, allowing Mr. Yo to catch up and villager count a little bit for a moment over there, and for a little bit, Mr. Yo is gonna be on the same villager count compared to the Viper. What I'm very curious about is gather economy time though, because Mr. Yo, he had a lot of villagers idle forward, trying to get the house down, trying to put pressure against the Viper, but the Viper also had a lot of villagers idle, right? He was repairing the house for a very long time. He had a villager garrisoned over there, trying to wall Mr. Yo's, trying to find a good time to wall Mr. Yo's villagers up. So if we take a look at this, we'll see that actually the Viper does have indeed about 26 minutes of extra gather economy time compared to Mr. Yo. But of course that's going to result in about 400 extra resources, perhaps 500 extra resources. So Mr. Yo is not out of the game, but he's definitely on the back foot. And with skirmishes alone, as expected, that won't suffice. Nice pick. Not quite. Not quite. The villager's safe from Mr. Yo. Here we are. Defensive tower now for Mr. Yo, and the game has stabilized. No one's putting too much pressure. No one's taking any losses anymore. 2 villages have gone down total for Mr. Yo. And if he plays his cards right over here, he should be fine. Yeah, it's gonna start collecting some gold, so we'll see some archers come out from Mr. Yo as well. The Viper's economy is stronger because of the extra villagers. 2 villagers from kills. It's going to result in a 2 villager lead for the Viper. And because of the Khmer economy being so strong, especially for food, because of the farmers not needing mills or TCs to drop food on, you can see just the food counts going up significantly faster for the Viper. He will most likely be the first player to go up to the castle edge by quite a bit. And Mr. Yo is going to lag behind significantly, especially as he's been going for skirmishers over here. But he should be able to go up to the castle edge eventually himself as well. Turtle and Brutal map control by the Viper now. That is the case currently, yes sir. Once Mr. Yo gets to the castle edge, however, he will benefit from a 15% discount on stable unit production, which means we could see knights on the way, we could see camels on the way. Mr. Yo's gotta be careful over there. Well done. Good reaction. It's fine. If he gets to castle, yes. Because now the Viper's already on his way up, and Mr. Yo's just finishing researching wheelbarrow, which is pretty necessary, especially when fighting against Khmer over here. That's going to be one of the ways you will have available to try and equalize the economy. Here we go. Here we are, Mr. Yo is finally on his way to the castle age himself as well. Significantly later compared to the Viper by a lot, over 2 minutes. So red player will get access to crossbows and potentially light cavalry. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is going to struggle. He will get pushed away from this goal, and unfortunately for the blue player, he's not thought about that possibility, and he's not gone for extra walls. If he had gone for walls over here, then he will be able to go for another mining camp over here and still take advantage of this goal. But now the Viper's going for crossbowman and the blocking arrow upgrades, plus siege workshop over here. Mr. Yo will be pushed away by this goal, from this goal, right? And we see the stables come up for Mr. Yo. He's banking on getting to the castle age, but this is so hard though. How do you get to the castle age and start going for double stable production when your opponent's about to push you away from the only goal that you have access to? Mr. Yo's trying to get the quick walls up over here. He's gonna be able to do it on time. That is beautiful. Cross are coming here though anyway. They're going to sit underneath the tower, and that means that all these villages will get pushed away from the goal as Mr. Yo's skirmishers are going down. 50 seconds for the castle age to arrive for Mr. Yo, and he's already taken so much heat. The villages over here are going down. Simply put, he cannot walk away from here. By destroying the palisade down the south to walk away with these villagers, he risks exposing himself to the knights, of course, and in the end, the Viper did not have the units over there in the right spot. So Mr. Yo is not quite as heavily punished. But he will go for the goal up in the north, and that is good. That is good, alright? So, we have the stables over here. We have some goal for Mr. Yo to make a play for knights. He's definitely on the back foot. But he's got knights on the way. He's got a good amount of resources. There's just so much for him to catch up for, though. About 11 villagers he's gotta take in order to just catch up to the Viper. Probably more like 8 because he's got wheelbarrows still. But anyway. Here you are. Beautiful. Knights are coming over now from the Viper. And Mr. Yo. Mr. is going for camels. He should be. Yes. He's got them for cheaper. They will counter the Knights. But he needs a good engagement over here, and I don't think that's going to be a good one, especially with the hail advantage over there for the Viper. He's going to end up taking the majority of the camels over here, at the very least pushing them away. While Mr. Yo is going to keep on trying to go for more over here, but struggling big time because he's going to be so strapped. Only 4 camels left for the bull player. Meanwhile, the Viper has got 9 knights already, which will easily clap those camels from Mr. Yo. And wheelbarrows over here now for the Viper as well. He's got the second TC and the third TC is on the way, so it doesn't seem like Mr. Yo will be able to catch up in the economy anytime soon. And this is huge, guys. The stable's going down. Mr. Yo's going down to only 1 stable left, which will not be enough for him to match the Viper for production. The Viper, on the other hand, has got 2 stables still. There's another one coming up over here on the back from Mr. Yo, but this is looking so one-sided already for the red player. Imagine the Viper just did redemption and convert to the stables. Yeah. But check this unit control from the Viper as well. He's just trying to target multiple villagers to keep them busy. In the end, he does end up getting 1. And here come the Knights, because the Viper got the foundations up. He can delete the foundations over here and come in with the Knights. He's not doing it yet. He doesn't need to. Up in the north, it's already open. And guys, this is over. There is no way back for Mr. Yo over here, with this economy being as awful as it is, with the military count being what it is right now. It seems to be about time to resign again. We have 10 knights. And Mr. Yo is going to keep on trying because he's got a good amount of camels over here, but TheViper's in a much better position. Even if he ends up getting cleaned up over here, Mr. Yo, what does he do afterwards? TheViper, he's already on 3 TCs, pulling ahead in villagers so heavily, and because he's the only player also, yes. With enough economy to go for extra military units, Mr. Yo's defense over there was going to suffice for this push, but not for the next one coming in from TheViper, as he was massing more and more units as well. So well done! TheViper won, Mr. Yo won! Let's go through the achievements. Close to 32k ratio for TheViper, and for economy, a stronger economy for TheViper by a lot. About 5,300 extra resources. Society, we'll see a higher worker count for TheViper as well, so well done. I'm pretty curious about the viewership right now. So welcome everyone then to game number 3. It just started. Let's enable predictions for game number 3. You have 5 minutes to predict who you think is going to win this one. Option 1, Mr. Yo. Option 2, TheViper. So yeah, what do we get for the civilizations over here? Mr. Yo with Italians will get a 15% discount to go up to the next stage, a 33% discount on university upgrades, as well as a 30% discount on gunpowder units. Although they do not get siege engineers, so it's going to be pretty tough against potential Hubnita. And then for the team bonus, they get access to condottieri in the barracks, from the barracks in the Imperial Age, and the condottieri are a very special unit because not only are they readily available to get the raids going and put pressure, especially on hybrid or land maps where you can land units. We see the condottieri being used quite consistently in late stages of the game. However, for this one, I am pretty sure Mr. Yo is going to be relying on the condottieri's ability as a counter gunpowder units. They get 10 bonus damage against gunpowder units. It's going to be kind of like the anti-hand cannoneer infantry unit and well, any gunpowder infantry unit. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. We have a hand cannoneer with range and 10 bonus damage against infantry units, and then an infantry unit for Mr. Yo without range but bonus damage against gunpowder units. For TheViper, on the other hand, playing with Bohemians means that he's going to have free mining camp upgrades. In addition to that, we'll see for Bohemians also access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the Castle Age, and that can make a big difference, of course, because condottieri will only be available starting in the Imperial Age. Besides that, we have for the red player also 25% higher bonus damage from Spearline units, Fervor and Sanctity affect villagers. And finally, they have a 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities. For the team bonus, finally, Bohemians will also have 80% fast working markets, although I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. And I guess we could take a look at the map generation over here. I don't really expect this to be too game-changing or anything at all. But if we take a look at the bull player first, we'll see that he's got 1 gold, kind of exposed over here, close to the walls anyway. We have the stone over here on the back, which is good. And then there is also the gold over here, which is going to be exposed and potentially. And let's take a look at the Viper's line of sight. He cannot really spot this, but once he gets to the Field Age, nah, he won't be able to spot it in the Field Age either. He'll need to get to the Castle Age only to spot this gold and potentially realize about the possibility of a castle drop around this area. Or more like this, right? Meanwhile, for the Viper on the other hand, we'll see that the red player's got 1 gold, super safe over here. He's got stone forward on the left hand side. Yeah, it's actually harder for me to make the arrows like this. I tried. And then this goal is kind of like, my god, what is that? This goal is kind of far away, and then this stone also. That is somewhat good. But yeah, that stone's going to be on the back. Overall, the Viper's going to be fine. This goal is completely safe. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is going to have potentially this one exposed. But it's whatever. We'll see if it in the end ends up making a difference. I wouldn't be surprised if Yo went for his own castle drops. Yeah. Could potentially go for that, but I don't think it's necessarily what he's planning for. Unique units for Mr. Yo won't really be too effective against Bohemians, right? He's going to have Genoese crossbows, which are anti-cavalry. Village is here ready for Mr. Yo. Is going for a stable. He'll go for a blacksmith. He'll try to get some map control, some map presence. And he'll be on his way to the castle edge very soon. The Viper will be on his way to the castle edge very soon as well. There we go. Did the old way? Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick to the old way because I cannot make it work with the tablet. It's so weird. When I do it on the computer with the tablet, I kind of have to do it that way. Make the end first, and then the stick. If I was doing it on paper, I would do it the other way around with the stick first and then the end. There we go. Castle Edge is on the way for both these guys, and Mr. Yo's got the Viper beat to it. By quite a little. Beautiful. What is Mr. Yo going to do once he gets up? He's not been collecting stone, so he won't be seeing castle. It's probably just going to be the extra TCs. And to me, it would seem as if Mr. Yo, once he gets to the castle age, he's just going to try to secure some of the extra resources, right? So probably try to go for like a TC over here, for instance. Potentially another one over here, just to protect his economy. And then if he goes for... if he gets enough stone from this one to get a 4 TC out, then he could potentially go for one over here. And that'll put him in a very good spot, of course. He wants to have a strong economy, so that once he gets to the Imperial Age, he can make use of the Condottiere. Meanwhile, the Viper... well, the Viper's got the stone still. He's not being collected anything, so we are going to say the same for... yeah. For the red player over here, right? So, he's probably going to get a TC up over here. Another one probably over here. Another one probably over here if he's... no, he's going to go for this one first, because he doesn't need to protect the woodland, right? So... this one doesn't make sense. But yeah, these two make sense for sure. And then if he gets enough to go for a 4 TC, he's gonna be able to add one up in the north. And indeed, Mr. Yo is going for the TC by the stone. And the next one, he could go for it by the gold, but he doesn't really have a lot of working space over here. So I'm wondering if he's gonna do it. He could potentially go for the 3rd TC up in the north, and then he could potentially go for a 4th TC eventually, the blue player. Like, around here, right? To protect both these golds. And that would give him enough space to surround this with farms as well. So that'll be nice. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Stereo, the only player to have actually gone for military units. It's 4 scouts out. Do you remember a version of Windows that jumped from estimated remaining time for some tasks, like from minutes to years back and forth? Yes. Like we are copying 2,000 very small files in one very large file. That is probably like several thousand times the size of all the other ones combined. It would tell you, oh, easy peasy. This one is going to be done in 10 seconds. And then when you arrive to the large file, it's going to go up. Oh, never mind, 10 hours. Steam on 2G. Speaking of Steam and 2G, some friends actually gifted me Sea of Thieves. I don't know if you saw that game or if you ever played it. It's very nice. I tried it on Xbox Game Cloud. And it was pretty good. So we bought it. And it's apparently very, very large. About like 80 gigabytes or something. Need to download it for playing this weekend. Nice! Unit control from the Viper. Preventing the scout from getting to the monk by body blocking it. Getting the conversion. Getting the monk. And in the end he ends up losing one monk over here, which is not going to be worth converting one scout, but he will end up collecting the relics. That's going to be one relic for the Viper. We still have 1, 2 over here, 3 Afro crafts, and Mr. Yo's got his own monks. With the 1 going back with a relic, but he ended up getting spotted. So now the Viper could potentially end up taking this one as well. So what was the point, Gauss? I remember the awful time estimations of Windows of yore. Yeah, that is some crazy relic greed for Mr. Yo for sure. And he's been punished so far. But there we go, the 4TC is coming up. And on the left hand side for Mr. Yo, meanwhile the Viper already went for the 4TC. So it seems like he's going to be in a much better position when it comes to late game. He's going to have a stronger economy. That's what happens when you make a scout not like cavalry. Yeah. Nothing really, just thinking of it? Oh, okay. Two monks versus 2 scouts. 1 scout should get converted and 1 monk should die. Versus 3 scouts. Both monks should die. Should be the case. And it seems like the Viper is going to end up collecting this relic as well. So he's getting the relic up in the north. And he's getting the relics down the south, I believe. Where are the monks? Oh no, he's not going for it. So it's Mr. Yo who's getting the relic down the south. Yes! He's got this one. So it's going to be 2-1. We still have 2 relics left. One that the Viper is bringing back. We already saw. And then this one on the right hand side. Which should basically favor Mr. Yo. So it's going to be in the end a 3-2 relic distribution favoring the Viper. Here we are. Copying stuff from an old HDD to a new SSD, there is more remaining time than when it started. Well, that's kind of awkward, right? Because reading time should be significantly faster than writing time for HDDs. So it should have a pretty good estimation. Just based on the size, I guess. Unless there's a lot of jumping around. Whatever. What will Italians do against Bohemians late game? Die? Well, Bohemians will have Hovnica, they will have Hand Cannoneer, and Italians have Condottieri against that. With bonus damage against gunpowder units. The Viper could potentially make a play for something against that. Although the Hand Cannoneer technically would have 10 bonus damage against infantry units. The moment that Condottieri close the gap, they annihilate the Hand Cannoneer, so we'll see. But yeah, besides that, I don't think there's too much for Mr. Yo to go for. PLH is gonna be here so much earlier for the Viper as well. Mr. Yo's got the resource to click up. He does not have the buildings though, so he's trying to rush a market? What does he want the market for? Go for a university, man. What? He's getting a castle up over here. He's gonna need to wait until he gets the castle up. Was that a misclick? What does he need a market for? He already has a resource. He's got a discount with the Italians. Now he's got over 500 extra resources, 600 extra resources, over 1,000 extra resources than what he needed to click up to the Imperial. So no wonder the Viper is so far ahead. Right now the red players got a minute and 48-second lead against Mr. Yo. Getting to the Imperial Age now. We'll see the scouts over here. Still no light cavalry coming up for anybody. The Viper's going to end up pushing these scouts away, and Mr. Yo ends up losing his own monks to the scouts around the Viper. And we'll see. Hand cannoneer on the way for the Viper, and Huvnitsa, that's gonna be the play. He's got chemistry coming up already. As pointed out earlier in the game, they get access to it in the castle age, so he can start researching it before he gets to the Imperial Age. So there we go. Both have hand cannoneers, though. Yes, both have hand cannoneers, and then we have Condottieri from Mr. Yo, so he's going for it. And the Viper knows what to expect. There's only one thing that you're gonna go against Bohemians with the Italians. Condottieri, that's it. And Mr. Yo, he's kind of lacking some upgrades. He doesn't really have chainmail armor just yet. And to be fair, he doesn't even have forging, iron casting, or blast furnace for that matter. Although he cannot go for blast furnace until he gets to the Imperial Age, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna be banking the bonus damage from the Condottieri. However, the units that Mr. Yo can go for will not do anything against fortifications. So the Viper's got 2 castles over here. He's got a trebuchet coming out, and the only thing that Mr. Yo will be able to go for himself to take the castles down will be trebuchets, right? But so long as these fortifications are up for the Viper, Mr. Yo is unable to really approach anything from the red player with Condottieri because they would just die. Remember as well that while Italians do have 20% cheaper gunpowder units, which translates to cheaper bombard cannons, they do not get siege engineers. While the Viper not only gets siege engineers, but Huvnitsa increases the radius, the blast radius for the bombard cannons by 60% from 0.5 to 0.8, which result in a much larger area, of course, area of effect. We have some Condottieri coming out. Mr. Yo cannot really afford to go for too many though. He's right now going for chemistry, plate mail armor. He's gonna try and make a play for bombard cannons, but it seems to me like Mr. Yo is just waiting over here to die. Because what does he do against this army composition from the Viper? Not the army composition only, but the fortifications. The fortifications are absolutely key for the Viper. The composition, yes, you can use Condottieri and go and take the hand cannoneer and the bombard cannons down. Oh, but no hand cannoneer for the Viper. Arbalester. Well, this basically destroys the Condottieri. Absolutely destroys them. So right now it seems as if Mr. Yo is just waiting for the end, trying to delay it a little bit, but the Viper shouldn't really struggle, and he takes a castle down. Over here we're gonna see a tower come up. Oh no, a house over there for Mr. Yo. And here comes the Viper. He's breached through already. He's going after the castle with a trebuchet and 3 bombard cannons. No Huvnitsa yet. The Viper's got supplies, arson, and iron casting coming up. It seems like he's gonna try and make a play for militia line units himself. Yeah, he's got extra barracks coming up, so he's just going to try and have something against the Condottieri. It's fine though. I don't think he needs anything. I think with the Arbalesters alone, it should suffice. Mr. Yo could potentially go for his own Arbalesters, but the Viper, with the possibility of Huvnitsa and with the amount of bombard cannons he's got right now, shouldn't really struggle against that too much. Even Mr. Yo would have stronger Arbalesters with 1 extra armor because of Pavise. So this is what I'm talking about. The Condottieri, they are just not strong enough, especially without a castle over here and without Pavise. Mr. Yo's units are not fully upgraded yet. There's 1 pierce armor they are missing without Pavise, and this Condottieri, they're just dying. They're just completely dying to the Arbalest, they get shredded. The Viper's push over here is looking unstoppable, while Mr. Yo, on the other hand, he's just now trying to get the ball rolling. He's got one condottiero and a one bombard cannon, nothing. This game is very much decided already. The writing's on the wall for sure. Does not spell good news for Mr. Yo. So he goes on and calls it GG over here. So that was a very interesting choice. I think the Viper was probably expecting Mr. Yo to go for this. He knew condottieri were on the way. So I like the Arbalester play over here for sure, as opposed to going for hand cannoneer, even if they had bonus damage against infantry units. Would have been pretty tough if Mr. Yo managed to close the gap. However, Mr. Yo, I would imagine he probably knew the Viper was going to make use of this civilization over here, right? It's gotta be for this. Where else are you going to use Bohemians? This is the close map, right? This arena was not picked. And he still struggled big time. One thing that I do have to say though is Mr. Yo is showing some preparation. He's got different strategies. He's got, you know, over here, certainly he's coming in with a plan. Was able to take on Vikings on migration. That was kind of a first for that matchup with a very strong strategy, but games number 2 and 3 just were so one-sided as the Viper. Ends up taking this one. It's going to be 2-1 in the end. And yeah, everything for the achievements over here is just looking so much better for the Viper. So much better. Thousands of extra resources. Dozens of extra villagers. You know, and a much better KD as well. Viper 2, Mr. Yo 1. Let's wait for game number 4. And let's enable predictions for game number 4 then. The Viper so far looking very strong. Mr. Yo has got a very strong civilization for this map. We'll see if it's going to be enough. For the blue player then, we're going to have Burgundians, which means that he gets access to eco upgrades 1H earlier for a 40% food discount. On top of that, we'll see for the bull player, also access to the Cavalier upgrade in the Castle Age. A 50% discount on stable upgrades and 25% higher attack on gunpowder units. For the team bonus, Mr. Yo is going to have with Burgundians relics that generate food in addition to gold, while the Viper playing with Gujaras will have extra berries available underneath the TC over here upon starting the game. He's going to have the ability to garrison herdables inside the mill to produce food passively. In addition to that, we'll see for Gujaras, for the Viper civilization, mounted units dealing 40% extra bonus damage, if I'm not mistaken. And in addition to that, we have for the team bonus. What was the team bonus for Gujaras? 25% faster training in camel and elephant archer units, right? Let me just go and take a look to make sure that I'm not messing up over here. Gujaras. Yeah, 2 extra forage bushes, can garrison mills, yes. Mounted units deal plus 40% bonus damage, yes. So camels are absolutely insane. Can garrison docks, I did not mention that on purpose because there is no water over here. Camel and elephant units are created 25% faster, okay, that's good. The Viper has to remember his Burgundian song. Viper's got a Burgundian song? What is this? I haven't heard that. In any case, here we are. Nice. In any case, let's take a look at the map generation. And remember as well, there we go, that you have about 2.5 minutes still left to get your predictions going. Why the stream is so blurry, even on 1080p? You be my guess and try to come up with a reason, because I would just be guessing. I have no idea. Bitrate on my end seems fine. Let me know if you guys are having any issues, if everybody else is having the same issue or not. because it shouldn't be the case. Let me check my settings real quick. We're streaming at 6 megabits per second, 30 FPS, so it should be more than good enough audio quality. Sorry, video quality, and we are using NVENC, so it's, yeah, it should be fine. Or shouldn't be any worse compared to other streams for the most part. Other streams look better for some reason? I have no idea. So taking a look at the map generation over here, that is something that, by the way, we might be able to improve on next year when I upgrade my computer and I get a new GPU, and if Twitch finally decides to enable support for AV1. That'll be great. Anyway, we have for the map generation the gold over here on the right hand side for Mr. Yo. We have the stone on the back. And the secondary goal is going to be for this part of the walls over here, so it wouldn't be possible for him to collect from this safely, as the Viper could potentially push units away from here as well. Meanwhile, taking a look at the Viper's map generation. And by the way, this is really good for Mr. Yo as well, the fact that he was able to secure the wood lines over here. Fantastic. Shouldn't be too difficult on this map, but still. Taking a look at the Viper, on the other hand, we're going to see that the red players got Mingle on the back, and then the secondary goal is actually kind of on the left-hand side. Pretty safe as well. He's already gone for the walls beyond the gold, so he should be able to secure it pretty easily. And then if he goes for some walls from here to here, here to here as well, could potentially close himself off like this, but he wouldn't be able to secure any of the wall lines though. "40 seconds left for the predictions. Option 1, Mr. Yo. Option 2, the Viper. You can use your channel points. And while we wait for the predictions to run out, I'm pretty curious. Do you notice the stream being blurry? Even on 1080p, do let me know. And if you're watching this on YouTube as well, please leave a comment if the stream looks kind of blurry on your end as well. There is one way in which I will be able to have a stronger or a better looking stream, a sharper looking stream. That would be by utilizing CPU encoding, but that is not really doable in a way that's going to improve quality compared to GPU rendering unless you have a double computer setup. Not blurry at all? The stream is not blurry? Yeah, then I have no idea. Might have just been that maybe you were tuning into the stream and it was at a lower resolution and then it took some time to buffer 1080p, perhaps. Sometimes happens. Sometimes it happens to me as well. I am watching the stream and it says 1080p, but it's really like 720p or even lower until it buffers enough. Perhaps, I don't know. Guess it's gonna be here very soon for the Viper, Mr. Yo. He's taking longer, but he is going up on a stronger economy, mind you, with 4 extra workers, which makes sense. The Viper's gonna be the first one up, but he's not been collecting stone, won't be able to go for a castle. Has just been collecting wood and gold, so it seems to me like he's just going to go for extra TCs, and then he's gonna try and make a play for the castle later. So we could see a TC come up over here, for instance. Could see a TC come up over here, perhaps, and that'd be great, especially as he will be able to secure also these wood lines, both these wood lines, this and this. Although, to be completely honest, I would probably prefer to see the TC come up by this goal so he can collect from this one, and then he can leave this one for later in case he gets pushed away, but it seems unlikely because Mr. Yo, he should be in a pretty good spot himself to just go for economy, so we'll see Mr. Yo also go for the extra TCs. And it's not too bad at all. The stream might look a little bit blurry for a moment. Give me a moment. I need to set something up. Sorry about that. That should be good. was just dealing with something in the background. It seems like Bidway was not affected though. And yeah, Mr. Yo, as expected, he is going for the second TC. No third TC just yet, but he's got a monastery on the way. Viper with the Camel Scout turned into a Camel Rider over here will push Mr. Yo away, and back home he does have already all 3 TCs up, which is beautiful. We could very well see a 4 TC come out for the Viper as he's collecting some stone over here. Very soon he's going to have enough resources. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is only now going for the 3rd TC. He's falling behind. He was only going to get ahead, or he was only going to be able to keep up if he was able to go for the 3 TCs instantly once he got to the Castle Age. Because the Viper, getting to the Castle Age earlier, had a head start in TC production. Can show total resources? Yes. A little bit better for the Viper. Only about 120 or so. Or 110 or so. Oh, the quick wall though coming in! Oh, that was so close! Mr. Yo does not take the monk down. Viper almost manages to quick wall his own monk over there. I think he's taken down. That's gonna be first blood, guys. 15 minutes into the game. We only see the first kill right now. It's going to be extremely uneventful. And take a look at that. The Viper was trying to steal the relic. He got so close. He actually got so close. And he traveled so far. You know? He got so far. He got so far. And tried so hard, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Couldn't even get a single villager converted over here. The monk too old anyway. He had a long life, being trained up until his elder years, just to get unleashed into the battlefield and die in less than a day. 4 TCs on the way now for the Viper. No 4 TCs coming up for Mr. Yo yet. As a matter of fact, only now he's making a transition to stone. And where is he collecting stone from? On the left-hand side. Alright. The monk's still there and Mr. Yo knows it. He's going back. Wheelbarrow's on the way now for the Viper, and Mr. Yo already has it. Which kind of compensates for the 3 villager deficiency that Mr. Yo's got compared to the Viper. And despite the fact that the red player managed to get the 4 TC up, so far he's not really been able to take advantage of it fully. Now he's got all 4 TCs working, but you take a look at the amount of idle TC time, and no wonder that Mr. Yo was able to keep up despite the fact that he's 1 TC behind. So the Viper is going to be the first player to go for a castle. Mr. Yo will have enough resources to go for a castle sometime soon. But the Viper is going to try to make a play for the center. This could be really good for Mr. Yo. He's got the scout at the center already because he's expecting the Viper to make a play for it. If he realizes the Viper is sending some villagers over to the center, he's got monks. He's got a stable right now, so we're going to see knights coming out, right? And that means that we're going to have monks, knights, and villagers for Mr. Yo to try and prevent the Viper from going for the castle potentially. And now the Viper doesn't really know about this, I think. Yeah, he's got no idea. But now he knows about the stable forward. Just by chance, this monk out in the open. It was not really by chance. He's got the monks actually roaming around to get vision. But he spots the stable over here, and very soon he's going to realize about the siege workshop. As he can see the units over here, he can see the knight over there. He should be expecting something to be over here, especially as he saw the villagers over there for a split second. And the Viper. Can the Viper see the last relic? He cannot. He cannot see the last relic, sir. And Mr. Yo cannot see the last relic either, so it's going to be 2-2 for the time being. And eventually the Viper's going to see it. But take a look at that. It seems like Mr. Yo is going to try and get a castle forward and prevent the Viper from coming out of his base. This is absolutely huge. And Mysterio gets away with a castle over here that's going to... Oh, and the Viper's going for an early castle in between both these DCs. Yeah, sure, that's going to provide defenses. And will prevent Mysterio from getting any damage done with the Knights over here. But that means that now Mysterio is, you know, gonna be able to get a castle up wherever he wants. I mean, the Viper will have enough resources to go for a counter castle if Mysterio goes for the first castle no matter where, right? The Viper seems to be playing a lot more defensive over here than otherwise. And given that Mysterio's got some siege over here, the monks, once again the villagers, might be able to even prevent the Viper from going for a counter castle, right? We have the monks over here, atonements here as well for Mysterio, and the Viper's gonna get pushed away as Mysterio's gotta chase these monks away with the scout. Mysterio's gotta be careful, of course. And the Viper's gonna try and get the conversions, and that is a beautiful unit control. Fantastic, and now Mysterio can turn around, but in the end, he does end up getting pushed away from here. The light cavalry coming out from the Viper is going to take the Mantle down, not quite, but the camels over here will be enough to push Mysterio away. And that means that there is no castle coming up for the Bull player whatsoever, and this is really good for the Viper. The defenses are looking strong, and the Mantle goes down. The monks get taken down, and while it was looking a little bit better for Mysterio just a minute ago, the Viper was able to turn the game around. He will end up pushing the Bull player away. However, the Bull player will be on his way to the Imperial Age. While the Viper? No, sir. He's going for Kshatriyas now. A 35% food discount on military units. Mysterio getting to the Imperial Age earlier, of course. Will be the only player with access to trebuchets. And he's being extremely cautious over here, notice. There are a few options for Mysterio. He could potentially make a play for a castle over here, let's say. Or he could make a play for the castle. Okay, he's going for the castle forward. If he goes for a castle forward, this is going to make it a little bit easier for him to put pressure, because now from this position he can go for a few trebuchets over here, right? And take the castle down over here for the Viper. The red player won't really be able to do anything to snipe the trebuchets other than just going for a good amount of units and then just try to dive in. But going for the castle in front means that Mysterio loses the possibility of securing the center. And now the Viper actually has some villagers around the north, way beyond Mysterio's vision, and he's going to get a castle at the center. Mysterio's hoping that the outposts over here will provide enough vision. And he should have seen the villagers come out from the Viper in any case. So he should be expecting to see something at the center. And we see the Knights coming in for Mysterio. Gaia's going to target the Viper. Now we have a Knight over there. We have a TC on the way. Mysterio cannot really afford to go for a castle. Although if he uses the market, he should be able to get a counter castle up over here. But he does not overreact. He's got enough units over here to deny the castle from the Viper anyway. So he does not need to go for anything more than this. He could have sold some resources and bought some stone to get a counter castle, but it's not necessary. He ends up just pushing the Viper away. And the outpost in the end does give him enough vision. Now the Viper, he's stuck back home. He's got this gold available and no more 2,400 resources. Gold for the Viper to work with. Kshatriyas is only going to discount the food cost of military units for Viper's army. So Mysterio is looking great. He's looking absolutely fantastic. Here we are. Beautiful. we go. Purely just here for the Viper. He's already under so much pressure though. 3 trebuchets over here. The bombard cannon, the chakram throwers are coming out, taking one of the trebuchets down. This is what I was talking about earlier. The Viper can only mass enough units to try and dive in, take some of the trebuchets down, and hope for the best. But it's not going to be enough for him to take them all down. So he's still under a lot of pressure. And then at the center, was he like already coming over from the Viper? And Mr. Yo's not realizing about this. He's losing all the villagers at the center. Mr. Yo will lose his entire center economy to the Viper's light cavalry, who have taken so far 10 units, all of these villagers, and it's going to be in the end about 12 villagers that Viper's units end up taking. Meanwhile, he's coming over, trying to take the trebuchets down. This is what I was talking about. He will snipe the treb down, right? Yes. Only one trebuchet left over here for Mr. Yo. No trebuchets left for Mr. Yo at all, and the Viper's castle stays up. The Frisbee boys do it again. And the light cavalry finally get noticed by Mr. Yo. This is not the best reaction time that I have seen from the bull player whatsoever. You can bet your butt the Viper can't see the last relic now, by the way. So he could potentially go and collect it. He's managed to secure the 2 that got pushed out of the first monastery. So he's managed to take to secure this one, right? Secure both. But once again, Viper is on a very, very limited amount of gold left in the game. If you take a look at this, you're gonna see the Viper's got only 1600 resources left, only 1600 gold left. Well, Mr. Yo is going for Burgundian vineyards, which is good. It's going to give him gold from farms. It's not necessary right now. He's got plenty of gold access. But it's good to have nonetheless. We have Hand Carnier over here against the chakram throwers. And some pikemen against the light cavalry. And the Viper's just trying to be very careful over here, not take unfavorable engagements. Once again, though, the Viper dives in, takes the trebuchets down. He has lost this castle up in the north, mind you. But taking the trebuchets down over there means that it's not possible for Mr. Yo to pack them up, move them down south, and take this castle next. Hey, there we go. The Viper's collecting the relic. I'm not really sure where the monk is. Oh, right here. There we are. But Mr. Yo might end up pushing Viper's monastery down over here, knocking Viper's monastery down. Paladin's coming up now for Mr. Yo as well. And the Viper, once again, doesn't really have the means to keep on playing over here. Simply put, he's got not enough gold. Right now, he's got a good amount. There's only about 1200 left over here before he completely runs out. And Mr. Yo's got 18 gold miners. And he can go for as much gold as he ever wants to go for. Now with Paladin coming out, he'll be in a much better position. The Viper, he's got faster training camels, and he's got 40% additional bonus damage from camel units, right? So he could, on paper, counter Mr. Yo, but it's not going to be easy, because it's quite a pricey upgrade for him to go for all that he needs for the camels. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, he's got Blast Furnace coming up. He's just trying to mass the Paladin. It's going to be a power push over here from Mr. Yo. He's trying to wait until he gets like 20, 30 Paladin, and then he's just going to unleash hell on the Viper, while the Viper on the other hand is trying to go for it with some light cavalry over here. Might be able to get some villages down. It's most likely not going to end up taking some of the villages down over here for sure. Perhaps all of these, if Mr. Yo's reaction time is comparable to the one at the center from before. And it seems like it is going to be the case. Okay, there we go. Mr. Yo is paying attention, but he might still end up losing the majority, and he will. He has lost the majority. It's fine though. He's got more than enough stone right now on the bank, so it doesn't matter. What I want to see though is Mr. Yo's big Paladin push. guilds coming out for the blue player. And here he comes. He's managed to get 20 so far. He's got 25 already on a single screen. And here he comes once again forward, this time around the Viper. He's got a good amount of chakram throwers over here, like cover as well, but what will they do against the Paladin as the Viper sees Mr. Yo's formidable army marching forward? I would expect nothing short of a inner uh-oh from the Viper. As Mr. Yo's coming in with a hand cannoneer to take on the chakram throwers. The Paladins take on basically everything else. And the Viper about to start losing a crap ton of economy. We can see that he's starting to go for the camels right now. He's going for a stable over here, but this is a little bit too late. Like already got completely cleaned up, and the Paladin are still looking strong. The same count for Mr. Yo. He keeps on going for more. He replenishes these just as fast as they go down. We have 23 Paladin now going down a little bit, but so he's going to snipe the Treasure over there. He's going to snipe the Bombard Cannons, and these are expensive losses for the Viper, who does not have access to gold anymore. This is the last one. So he calls a GG. And Mr. Yo equalizes the series over here. We're going to have a 6-game series guaranteed between both these legendary players. Viper 2, Mr. Yo 2. Let's go through the achievements before paying predictions off. A stronger KD for Mr. Yo, and not even close. Almost 3-2 for Mr. Yo. For economy, a stronger economy for him, collecting about 6,000 extra resources or close to it compared to the Viper, and a higher worker count at the end of the game, as well as a higher worker max count as well. In the end, despite all the losses, Mr. Yo ended up losing 28 villagers, while the Viper ended up losing 39 over here. Actually, 29 actually, so 1 extra villager compared to Mr. Yo. And I would assume it was probably just towards the end with the Paladin push for the Bull player. Well done. And welcome everyone then to game number 5. The Viper playing in the red color on the left-hand side towards the south. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo up in the northwest will play in the blue color. We have Japanese and Byzantines for these players respectively. And once again, predictions will be on for the next 5 minutes for who wins game number 5. Starting with Mr. Yo's civilization, the Byzantines will get pretty darn strong fire line units with 25% faster attacking fire line ships. Besides that, Byzantines will also get free town watch, free town patrol, 25% cheaper skirm, spear, camel rider units, as well as 10, 20, 30, and 40% extra HP on buildings in Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. On top of that, there is a 33% discount for Byzantines to go out to the Imperial Age, and for the team bonus, finally, their monks heal units 100% faster compared to other civilizations. There we are. Towards the south, Viper civilization, on the other hand, playing with Japanese, will provide them with 5, 10, 15, and 20% faster working fishing ships. The team bonus being 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. Besides that, the fishing ships also have twice the HP with +2 pierce armor. We're gonna see for Japanese also get 33% faster attacking infantry units starting in the Feudal Age. And for the team bonus, actually not for the team bonus, sorry. Finally, we're gonna have a 50% discount on drop-off buildings for Japanese. So there we are. Let's go, Mr. Yo. I wasn't aware of that emote before, by the way. Looks good. And in any case, yeah, the game is pretty even right now. Pretty uneventful as well. First dock's already up on the left-hand side for the Viper. Up in the north, Mr. Yo is going to have his own dock up over here. Let's take a look at some of the, a little bit of the map generation, starting with the Bull player. Wow, 3 minutes left for the predictions, and we have somebody going effectively all in, betting 20,000 bones to player number 1, and somebody trying to play the odds over here with 10 measly bones. This is a very good chance for somebody to play the odds over here. 2.5 minutes still left. 20,000 for option 1, only 10 for option 2. Want to see that get a little bit closer. But yeah, oh, villager coming forward from Mr. Yo, by the way. Nice. But yeah, let's take a look at the map generation over here. He's eventually going to try to get a sneaky talk up. For the blue player, he's got the goal forward. He's got one of the other goal over here towards the southeast. And then we have the stone and the stone on the left-hand side up in the north. Could potentially see some walls coming up over here and like this. And then he could potentially secure himself going for the walls towards the corner. We take a look at the Viper on the other hand, and what do we get then for the red player? We could see something very similar as well, going for some walls like this potentially, and then the goal is kind of forward. We have one goal in the back, so it's still going to be fine for him and both these stones on the back. But if he's to go for some walls like this, he should be in a pretty good position to secure himself. Now, that's not going to be enough, either for the Viper or Mr. Yo, to secure the dock though. And Mr. Yo is trying to find where the Viper is, and he knows about the dock on the left-hand side. He's gone around such a long way with the villager over here, but he's gonna get to the fuel H, and it seems like he's gonna go for a tower instead, and he's sending an additional villager over to get the sneaky dock up on the left-hand side instead, which makes sense. If he had to send this villager all the way around the back of Viper's base to just get a sneaky dock over here, he would risk getting spotted because the dock from the Viper is closer to the edge of the map. Meanwhile, over here, the Viper is going to start collecting fish from this area, and we'll see if he can spot the dock from Mr. Yo as he's going to get this one up, I think, a little bit too far beyond the line of sight of the Viper. The dock's coming up, and the Viper's not going to realize about it. Meanwhile, we have a tower on the way now for Mr. Yo as well that the Viper cannot see. And this is huge. It's going to be a 2-punch push. But the Viper, his game sense is tingling though, and he notices the dock. So he's got a fire galley on the way. Meanwhile, there is nothing like this coming from the Viper against Mr. Yo whatsoever. He's got a villager moving over the right-hand side, and he's gonna secure this pond. But he won't contest this one, so the Viper's going to have his only... Oh, wait a moment, though. The villager got spotted over here. Well done. Wow, did the Viper get town watch? No, he went for a preempted tower over here, and he realized Mr. Yo might have been going for a tower over there. In the end, it's going to pay off. The nice tower takes the village down. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Mr. Yo still has the dock up, but the Viper is the first player to start going for Navy. Here we go. And town's coming in now for the Viper as well. Remember, 33% faster attacking. He's already managed to get 2 over here. So long as he's able to defend these Men-at-Arms, he's got his own archer over here to push Mr. Yo's archer back. So long as he keeps the Men-at-Arms alive, actually might be able to take the house down over here and come into the wood line. So Mr. Yo's gotta be careful. Second archer's coming up now. The Viper. It's in the back foot for numbers. Yeah, Mr. Yo is going to push him away. Well done. Fletch is coming up for Mr. Yo. The Viper doesn't really have it right now. On the left-hand side, we see the one archer from the Viper trying to put pressure against the gold miners, and Mr. Yo will just push him away with the skirmisher. On the left-hand side, in the end, the Viper should be the one getting full water control over here, at the very least retaining water control. Up in the north, Mr. Yo is being completely uncontested, and then on the right-hand side, we have a dock for the Viper. Nothing from Mr. Yo, so the red player is starting to pull ahead in worker count. That's a good amount of units Mysterio's been going for. And the Viper. The Viper's done the right thing at not going for any extra units over here. Not to overextend, not to overinvest. He's gonna be on his way to the castle age very soon, but Mr. Yo could potentially get a good shot over there. That's going to be a good shot for Mr. Yo. He will end up taking this down as the Viper's not able to target the fire galleys due to the dock pain there. It seems like Mr. Yo will in the end up pushing the Viper away from here, right? We'll see another dock on the way for Mr. Yo. Another dock on the... sorry, actually another fire galley on the way for both these guys. And then on the right-hand side, the engagement's cooking up over here. Mr. Yo. He's got archers, he's got skirmishers, the Viper. He's got archers for the most part, just one skirmisher, so Mysterio should be able to hold on over there just fine. And by the looks of it, Mysterio might be able to end up getting full water control over here. Yes, he's done a really good job so far. He's going after the fishing ships. Good thing for the Viper that he's got twice the HP, extra Pierce armor on these guys. It's taking forever for the fishing ships to go down. And Mysterio's got to pay attention though. He doesn't really want to, lose the units for free over here. It's going to end up taking the fire galley down. He can keep on going after the fishing ships, and the Viper seems like he's losing control of the dock over there. On the right hand side, the players are simultaneously paying attention to both things, the dock and the land units. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, he's got a village over to the right hand side. He's going to try and get a dock up over here. If we take a look at his line of sight, we'll notice that he doesn't know about the Viper's dock over there necessarily, so he's probably just going to start going for fishing ships, and players are going to realize about each other eventually, but not from the get-go. There we are. Castle Age is gonna be here for the Viper. We'll see Balkan Arrow. Crossbowman. Knights on the way as well. A little bit of everything. With his civilization, it's gonna be fine. Knights are good for Japanese. In the Castle Age they are fine. It's just in the Imperial Age that they kind of fall behind a little bit. Oh, and Mr. Yo is going for a fire galley. He sees the fishing ships. Town Watch and Town Patrol, they are just so good. Right now it's got just Town Watch, and that's already given vision of the fishing ships over here. It's amazing. Gives him the head start in Navy production, and he's gonna be getting control of the right hand side pond, which means that after pushing the Viper away from the left hand side, now Mr. Yo is going to have 1, 2, and if he effectively pushes the Viper away from here, it's going to be 3 pawns that Mysterio is going to have access to, or is going to have control of. However, he needs to keep on going for Navy over here, of course, if he ever hopes to keep up, as the Viper's going for his own Navy. Guess I'll just stay for Mr. Yo. Here we are. Yeah, so far things are looking pretty darn good for the Viper. With all the pressure he's putting up over here, he's not really being able to get too much damage done, but he's been able to push the blue player away from this goal, and this is absolutely instrumental because Mr. Yo with access to goal won't be able to keep on going for Navy, won't be able to take advantage of anything. And in the Castle Age, of course, he's got some Knights on the way, but of course Byzantine Knights are pretty lackluster. So we'll see the Viper, or we'll see Mr. Yo rather, make a full switch over to the right hand side goal over here, and he needs to get his own defensive siege workshop so that he can hold on against this the Manos. Otherwise the Viper is just a matter of him going around over here and taking Mr. Yo down, pushing him away from this once again. Here we go. Conversion coming up for the Viper. Mr. Yo manages to run away just in time, but we see the conversion coming up over here once again. And wow, that is a very, very quick conversion for the Viper. In the end, the Monk's going to stay up over there as the Knights clean up the remaining Knight from Mr. Yo. And right now, red player is looking very, very strong still. Insta conversion right there, yes. And down the south, we see the second TC coming up for the Viper. Pressure against the TC now for Mr. Yo. Second TC is finally coming up now for the bull player as well. Let's take a look at the Knights. They are coming over, going right up against the Mangonels, and we will see the Mangonels go down. That is a lot of resources down the drain for the Viper. Mr. Yo. Well, Mr. Yo is most likely not going to end up getting pushed away from here, although he was able to get a lot of damage done. Almost cleaning out the crosses over there. It's not going to take much longer for him to eventually clean out the units. But he's still in a world of pain. Oh, misplay from the Viper on the left-hand side. He loses all the crossbows to the TC. That is so unlike the Viper. This is giving Mr. Yo extra time, extra space to work with. Keep on getting baited by the house from Mr. Yo. But yeah, now the bull player is able to stabilize, and all of a sudden the game is looking neck and neck. Overall KDs favoring Mr. Yo by quite a lot. Eco KD favoring Mr. Yo by quite a lot as well. Nice. The Siege Workshop is indeed coming out for Mr. Yo. Beautiful. A little bit of a counter raid from the bull player, ends up garrisoning some of the villagers from the Viper. And once again, the game has completely stabilized. Now the Viper's going for gill nets. It's got plenty of fisher ships on the right-hand side, down the south as well. Yeah, Mr. is fine. He was targeting the TC, but he bailed. Just got a little bit of idle villager time, and in the end he was able to keep the Knights for the most part, so it's fine. Now he's getting some villagers down from the Viper. He should be able to clean this up as well. The Monk over there has got full fate, but the Viper's not paying attention. Only now realizes about it, but it's too late. Does not get an instant conversion anymore. And the units get cleaned up from the Viper. In the end, the right-hand side, we'll see some crossbows still left for the red player, but Mr. Yo shouldn't be too affected by this. It's going to keep on working. This is the third TC for Mr. Yo. The Viper is on 3 TCs himself as well. There was an attempt. Actually, that was not an attempt. Oh yeah, there was an attempt from the Viper to reclaim the pawn on the left-hand side. However, Mr. Yo had not really gone for any fishing ships, so the Viper couldn't really do any damage over here. And the end's just going to be up in the north, where Mr. Yo's got the fishing ships over here, only 6. No more monks over here for the Viper anymore. That means these crossbows most likely are not going down. Convenient control for the Viper. We'll still end up losing the units though. Here we go. And there's a castle on the way now for Mr. Yo on the left-hand side. Good attention for Mr. Yo. Swift reaction right there. Bailing from the conversion range. Escaping the conversion range. And there we are, the castle comes up, and Mr. Yo is gonna be just fine over here. The Viper's going for his own castle. He's gonna have the hail over here compared to Mr. Yo, so it's a much better position. If we take a look at the line of sight of Mr. Yo, or the exploration, the point of view of Mr. Yo, he knew about the hill over there, but this castle, like this, provides some protection to the gold. Well, if he had gone for the castle forward, that wouldn't really have provided much protection for any of his resources. Very soon the Viper is gonna click out to the Imperial Age. Very soon Mr. Yo is gonna click out to the Imperial Age, as both players already have the buildings and the resources. The Viper's gonna be first. Mr. Yo shouldn't take much longer. If he was paying attention to the score, he should realize about this. And should be on the way up himself. Yes, sir. Mr. Yo's got the resources. Click up. Click up, click up, click up. There we go. And Mr. Yo holds on to the lake on the left hand side. Now he's going for fishing ships. Yeah, took a little bit, but he's on his way. In the end, it's going to be a fairly small lead for the Viper. It's just about 31 seconds faster to the Imperial Age. What I'm mostly concerned about for Mr. Yo is the hail situation, because now the Viper can go for the trebuchets out, and then he can just send this over here, right? And then still take advantage of the elevation to take the castle down. Plus, he's got 2 castles, so that's going to be good for him to get double trebuchet production. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo's got almost enough resources to go for the castle, but he's not going for it just yet. Down the south, a little bit of counter push from Mr. Yo ends up getting cleaned up for the most part. Yeah. And army-wise, Mr. Yo seems to be just going for trash units. Right now, he's got the lead skirmishers. Oh, second castle on the right-hand side. I like this one. It protects the gold. So he's got both these goals protected. But it's going to be a struggle for him to keep the left-hand side castled up, as Mr. Yo... sorry, the Viper is going up so much earlier to the Imperial Age. And he's got double trebuchets coming out very soon. Only about 5 seconds from now. There we go, Mr. Yo, mined up. Getting denied on this castle. That is so close, though. But a lot of units over here, 99%. He gets the castle up, ends up losing so many villages in the end, though. Was only able to save 2. Was gonna be in the Imperial Age himself as well, and there we go. We see ballistics coming up. He cancelled it. He's going for chemistry instead, and we'll see bar cannons coming out. That's something that Mr. Yo gets access to, and the Viper doesn't. So that's one tool that Mr. Yo will have access to that could potentially prevent the Viper from taking advantage of trebuchets fully. If Mr. Yo gets a good amount of bar cannons out, he's able to take this castle down and is able to go after the trebuchets for sure. That is a lot of ifs, though. Right there for sure. Sneaks around the Viper, moving away with Knights first, so the castle will shoot them. Not the crossbows. Right. Mr. Yo should be able to clean this up. Yeah. Doesn't doubles in a village over here, probably shouldn't have, but in the end he'll end up cleaning this up. As expected, the Viper's pressure over here with Trebuchet is too big for Mr. Yo. It's too strong for Mr. Yo to hold on against, so... Well, we do have 2 trebuchets for the bull player to work with. He doesn't end up losing the castle anyway. And now, Mr. Yo has finished researching chemistry, yes. But he's not going for bombard cannon yet. Okay, there we go. The first one is on the way. He's got 2 trebuchets left. The Viper. 5 freaking trebuchets. It's going to take the siege direction down over here before we get the first bombard cannon. We have still the hill advantage over here, I think. I think we do, don't we? Wait, we might not actually. Never mind. Here we go, the castle goes down. The TC goes down next. Siege Workshop is done for already, and Mr. Yo. He had to go for another one on the right hand side. He's got some bombard cannons coming out, but the Viper's looking great. There is no sugarcoating this. The Viper with the castle coming up on the right hand side at the center over here as well is going to have about 75% to 85% of map control on Mr. Yo. The castles he had earlier provided protection to some of the goals, but now this one is completely exposed and the Viper is going to start going for Samurai. Cavalry archers, the Viper is going for a little bit of everything. So far it's working out pretty well. He's got the skirmishers over here taking villages down, which is not something you expect to see, but it's Mr. Yo's life right now. And everything seems to be falling apart for Mr. Yo. There is only one castle left over here. It's going for cataphracts, which will take the skirmishers down, but will not take samurai. Unless now without the full upgrades, and even then it's going to be kind of a wash between samurai and cataphracts. Very close. Because of the samurai's bonus damage against unique units. Yeah, one cast of cataphract's not going to save anyone's day, for sure. I mean, so he's collecting some stone. His match is somewhat stabilized over here, but he's got only 5 stone mine. It's going to take so long for him to actually get another castle up. And the Viper still has a trebuchets, and he's going to start targeting the castle right now. And take a look at that. 5 trebuchets will shred your castle down. 3 volleys will take Mr. Yo's castle down. No matter how many villagers Mr. Yo's got over here to repair the castle with, this is going down, and it's not even up for debate. It's going down for sure. And that means now Mr. Yo has lost defenses around this goal. And without access to goal anymore, well, Mr. Yo is just going to call it GG. Just going to call it as the Viper takes game number 5. It's going to be a score of 3-2 over here, favoring the red player, going through the achievements before hopping back out and paying predictions. We'll see a better KD for Mr. Yo, mind you. Of a little bit better than 7-6. Actually, not quite as high. More like 8-7. But for economy, we see a stronger economy for the Viper over here for thousands upon thousands of extra resources. 13,000 extra resources. Higher villager max count as well as a current villager count at the end of the game. The Viper ended up losing 8 villagers this game, while Mr. Yo ended up losing 59. Well done by the Viper. Well played. Yes, sir. Game number 6 with Mr. Yo playing with Lithuanians and the Viper facing him with Malians. We'll take a look at the player TC locations and we'll see that Mr. Yo's got the TC coming up in the north. Meanwhile, the Viper's got the TC coming up at the center right. If we take a look at the player's point of view, we see that Mr. Yo does not have, here we go, vision of Mr. Yo's TC. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at Mr. Yo and we'll see that he's got no vision of the Viper's TC. Both players are completely clueless as to where their opponent is. Great content, thank you. Thank you. They should just play 2 half-an-hour periods with the clock stop, and every time the play stops. Right. Well, that's what they're doing right now, right? I think in the past it was kind of by feel. I'm not really sure because I do not really know what the rules are, but in the past I think it was kind of like that. And oftentimes the additional time wouldn't really correspond to the actual downtime during the game, which could result in some griefing as well. Sometimes the teams that are on top, especially if they are the underdog, they are just going to delay the match so much. And back in the day, you would only get a few minutes of extra time, but these days you're getting actually a lot. I think for it's what is the average? Probably like 7-8 minutes for every game. While in the past, it would just be matches which got delayed by a huge amount that would get like 7 minutes added. As a matter of fact, the other day I think there was like 9 minutes. Anyway, that's enough of it. Let's take a look at the civilizations. Starting with Mr. Yo, Lithuanians will begin with 150 extra food. This is actually really good for a map like this, or for hybrid maps or water maps. In a map like this, I mean a nomad start map, but then also for standard hybrid or water maps, is very, very good because you're gonna get extra food from the get-go, which means that you are not as hard pressed to collect food, and you can redistribute your economy to go for water a little bit more heavily early on. Interestingly enough, Mr. Yo's not been able to take advantage of it though. And besides that, we'll see for Lithuanians also 10% fast movement skirms, spearling units. 1 extra attack on Knights and Lightshade units per each relic garrison up to 4 relics, and for the team bonus, 20% faster working in monasteries. The Viper, playing with Malians, will get instead 30% longer lasting golds. We have an addition to that for Malians. Oh, Mr. Yo! He's saving the villager. Good unit control, man. Good unit control. The Viper cannot take the villager down. Nice. So yeah, the Viper, on top of the longer lasting golds, he's going to have 1 extra Pierce armor and barracks units per each started in the village as well. As 15% wood discount on buildings, which is going to, in the end, last so much more. It's going to be a much more impactful, you know, bonus compared to the 150 extra food. So that is the reason why Malians alongside Persians are the most played nomad civilization, as well as Spanish. Spanish are going to be actually the most played nomad civilization on a standard start, right? But because of the extra villages over here, you do not really get quite as much of a lead. Anyway, nice lane move there for Mr. Yo. Ends up taking 1 of the boards. The Viper has already taken 2 boards himself though. And the Viper's villager on the left hand side, I think he's just trying to find some resources. By the way, he spotted Mr. Yo already. And Mr. Yo, yeah, he knows where the Viper is, of course. We saw it earlier. Oh, Mr. Yo sent the villagers forward. Is this just for the gold, or is he gonna try and go for a tower? He could try and go for a tower, you know? The Viper didn't spot the villager taking the board down, so he doesn't really know about this. Village on the way for both these guys. The docks are on the right hand side for both players. Towards the south for the Viper. Towards the very east for Mr. Yo. He's going for a second dock over here. The Viper's got another one over here towards the south as well. So yeah, Mr. Yo, he was just going after the goal. He was not really going for anything else. He could potentially, given that he's got a villager over here, still try to make a play for a tower drop over here, right? And if he gets this, he'll be able to push the villagers away from this, potentially prevent stone collection. And the Viper, besides that stone, he's got 1 stone on the back though, so it wouldn't be too badly affected by it. And then he's got 1 goal on the back over here, in addition to the goal that he's got right next to the TC. Taking a look at Mr. Yo's TC location, on the other hand, he's so far away from everything. He's got a lot of stone. Yes. Over here, right? And over here as well. Very, very far away from the TC. But the golds are an issue. The only one that he's got access to is very, very far forward. And then if he does not get access to this one, so the Viper was able to push the double player away from here, then Mr. Yo will have to go over to the right-hand side over here. So far away. It's one of those maps that I love to watch but hate to play. What would the other one be? Or what would some of the other ones be? Usually that's the case for Socotra for a lot of people, potentially Chaos, but these chaotic maps, right? So Yo's got right now the most navy units. And they're taking down some of the fishing ships. What's our Wing Hussar's stats? What? Tower's coming out for the Viper. Let's get the tower up. You know what I mean? Honestly, I never really do. I never really do know what you mean, guys. You're a puzzle. Tower's coming up, and well, the Viper is unlikely to push Mr. Yo away from here, is he? Oh no, he's got him fletching. Mr. Yo does not have fletching, that is why he wasn't able to prevent the tower from coming up. So this is actually really good for the Viper. And Mr. Yo, oh my god, that is a beautiful tower placement. Wow, with fletching, this completely changes the game. And Mr. Yo, he had vision of this coming up, but he couldn't do anything. I think he was probably not expecting the Viper to have enough range over there, but now he's getting pushed away. And this is just so far away. This is what we were talking about earlier. There's so much distance for those villagers to cover to collect additional gold after getting pushed away from the one he towered earlier. And now on the water, the Viper's looking very strong as well. It's got 3 fire galleys versus only 1 fire galley from Mr. Yo. Seems like the Viper might end up taking the village down over here as well from the bull player. And this is rough, guys. Mr. Yo is banking. I would guess Mr. Yo would probably bank on this map to get potentially a win. And, you know, so far, Mr. Yo is looking really, really strong. Now, streams are the best. Correct analytics. Emotional intensity. There should be 1,000 spectators here. I respect man, but can't watch him. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's one of the beauties about the Age of Empires community. You get something for everyone, right? So, Mame having thousands upon thousands of viewers just means that he's doing a lot of stuff right. Right? He's doing a lot of things right. He's got a lot more people who enjoy his content than people who don't enjoy his content. And for people who don't enjoy his content, there is a lot of options too. So, on my end, there are no excuses, man. Just gotta keep on working and trying to improve, and eventually I hope it's going to pay off. You can only hope. Right, but I'm pretty happy with how things are already. So can't complain too much about it. You know, I'm making a living off Twitch despite my meager viewership and subscriber count compared to some of the other guys is nothing short of amazing for me personally, so it's fine. There should be 10,000 spectators here. Well, hold on there, Iron Chef. I don't know about that much. Market's coming up now for the Viper. Yeah, and the game has stabilized. In the end, Mr. Yo gets pushed away from here. The Viper should know about this. Whoa! Iron Chef, dude, thank you so much for the raid. Oh my god, for the raid. I'm so used to seeing the raids over here for the gifted subs. 5 tier 1 gifted subs coming in from Iron Chef. Failbane plays, Bossimir, Onator, as well as Private Snowball, and T-Bot. Guys, welcome to the club and thank you so much for the support. Iron Chef, it's very much appreciated. Thank you so much. It's great. Right hand side. Oh, nice damage shot over there for the Viper. Still looking much stronger. He's managed to rake in enough resources to click up to the Castle H in a moment, though. Mr. Yo, not so much. And this is, once again, this is a map you would expect Mr. Yo to be favored in, but the Viper's done such a good job so far. It's amazing. Viper's clicking up, yes, Mr. Yo. It's taking a little bit longer. Shouldn't be falling too far behind, though. He does have more military units, but because we know some of those are on water, it's not going to be all of this just on land, right? This is, I think, the only land army that we have for Mr. Yo. Might be able to still get a village down over here, too. He's got 2 archers into the mix over here, not just skirmishers. Meanwhile, the Viper's going to try to take the archers down over here. The skirmishers won't be able to do too much damage, and Mr. Yo will end up losing a lot of the units. The archers are being targeted over there. Really well played by the Viper, targeting the archer right away. The archers, and pushing Mr. Yo away. Sure, Mr. Yo was able to push the Viper away from this stone as well, but it's going to be only temporarily. We know that. Serious bring the fire galley over there. Might be able to take on the scout over there, but the Viper should be able to go back to stone over there just fine. Ideally, he would want to cycle through the villagers, so he's bringing higher HP ones, because he could still risk losing a villager or two to the skirmishers. But so far, it's been pretty good defense, and the Viper's fine. Right hand side, still, Viper's got vision of this gold from Mr. Yo, but he doesn't really have the means to push him out with. War galley upgrades coming out for the Viper. He's got right now 4 fire galleys. He's trying to keep the HP up for these guys, so it's going to be fire ships once he gets the war galley upgrade. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, where are the fire galleys from Mr. Yo? He's got them spread around the map, and these are not too high HP either. 2 of those are very, very weak, so it seems like the Viper, if he plays his cards right, should be able to get water control. Mr. Yo is taking some time. Because the Viper is not going for any extra TCs, this actually gives Mr. Yo the possibility of going for an extra TC and try to play for land economy and just give up on water. Especially playing against the Viper is going to be pretty difficult because of the wood discount that the Viper Civilization provides to him. And now that we have the War Galley upgrade over here for the Viper, yeah, Mr. Yo is unlikely to get water control anytime soon, so instead I would like to see extra TCs and just try to play for full land. We will see a castle come up first though. And a good location for it would be over here. Yeah, give up Lightus for sure. Light Chai. A castle over here would be absolutely fantastic for Mr. Yo. Let's say he places it over here, right? He's able to secure this gold. He's able to deny this, potentially deny this as well. And it's so much closer also to his DC compared to this goal on the right hand side. And now the Viper's trying to target with the knights. Viper's looking strong for Navy though, as expected. Mr. Yo gets cleaned up for the most part. He's got a second TC coming up the left hand side, which I like. He's gonna secure a stone in the goal with this one. Oh, and War Galley upgrades coming up for Mr. Yo. Now, this I do not agree with. He's already lost his Navy. He's got 1 fire ship. There is no reason for him to make as heavy of an investment for water control over here when he's got the opportunity of playing full land. In my opinion, it doesn't seem to make too much sense. Unless he was expecting that the Viper will be able to push him away from resources with Navy. Right? Maybe with some War Galleys from the shoreline over here, perhaps. I don't know. Okay, he's going for... That's an okay castle. He'll still be able to take the tower down, but this doesn't really secure the goal because, of course, we could see for the red player, he could go for another tower, perhaps around here, right, somewhere, and he would still be able to deny this. But it's okay. It's not too bad. Mr. Yo already has to go on the right-hand side. Oh, never mind! The knights are here! The villagers are going down! Bow! Dead villager right there. Dead villagers over here as well. Can you see the body over there? Rotting away. Yeah, you know, Mr. Yo is all of a sudden looking a lot weaker right now compared to the Viper. Population is just so one-sided. 44% stronger for the Viper right now. Yeah, Mr. Yo does only have access to this goal, I guess, safely. And this one is, of course... Wait, can he take the tower down? Dude. I'm not really sure. I think he can't, but if he goes for blocking arrow, he should be able to take it down. But that seems like an unfortunate castle location. He shouldn't have to go for the upgrades. He should be placed in the castle in a position where he will be able to already clean out the tower from the get-go, but it is what it is. And the Viper's looking great, guys. Not gonna lie. I think I forgot to enable predictions for this one. Might be too late to enable predictions given the current situation, I think. At the very least, too late to get any decent prediction contest without having the Viper get 110% of the predictions. And the snake's looking very strong, and Mr. Yo, despite this being what I think a lot of people would define as the ultimate Mr. Yo home map. Viper's looking stronger. Civilization seems better as well. Here comes the Viper over the left-hand side. What is he going to do though? Let's take a look at this vision. He knows about the TC. It seems like he's going to try and raid over there. Because it's so far away from Mr. Yo's base, right? His main base over here at the center up in the north. This is kind of like a proxy economy for Mr. Yo that is actually pretty vulnerable. If the Viper is able to take TC down, he takes all the villagers too. What is the IHA armor class? I think it's just cavalry, isn't it? Cavalry and unique unit. Unique unit, cavalry. Well, IHA of course. Yeah, and then melee and pierce. So pretty standard. Defensive castle coming out for Mr. Yo. I like this one. Will make it harder for the Viper to keep on putting pressure. Not impossible though. Albeit the Viper might take a little bit longer to get the push going. He can very well just send some of the siege over the right hand side over here, right? And put pressure from here. With some mangonels perhaps. Yeah, he's going for one. Respect the castle, man! Respect the castle! He does! He manages to save the mangonel just barely. Still no Balkan arrow for Mr. Yo, so the castle is not really providing too much protection. There is no mounted armor class though. Well, that'd be actually pretty good, probably for like elephants, camels, and cavalry. But usually units that get bonus damage against any of those guys is going to have a different amount of bonus damage against different types, right? So, as opposed to having mounted armor class, you have cavalry, camelry, elephantry. So you can deal different amounts of bonus damage to different types of mounted units, I guess. And also for cavalry archers, which are also mounted, right? That'd be interesting though, having a mounted type armor. Could maybe enable for some interesting new units, perhaps. But anyway, Mysterious going for the castle forward. He's got the light shot coming in though, taking the Viper's economy by storm over here. And if you were to ask me if this game was going to keep on going 10 more minutes, 5 minutes ago, I would probably have said no. The Viper's going to take on the TC from Mr. Yo on the left-hand side, take all the villagers down over there, and that's going to be over. But Mr. Yo has done a good job of staying afloat in this game. Now, mind you, the Viper will be the first player in the Imperial Age by quite a lot. And because he's got a castle already, he can go for trebuchets too. He's got a siege workshop, so once he gets chemistry, he can go for bombard cannons too. So Mr. Yo is still definitely on the back foot over here in a world of pain. He's alive yet. He's still alive. Nice. Snipes over here, and Mr. Yo will get a bunch of villagers. Notice, TC's fully garrisoned over there, but the light chair is still actually holding on like champs. Like Malian champs. And the Imperial Age is here for the Viper. Mr. Yo is gonna keep on trying for dear life. He's gotta do it. There is no way back into the tournament over here if Mr. Yo loses this game, so he's going to give it his all. He's got a castle on the way. The Viper over here at the center, and Mr. Yo's got the light chai. He does get converted though, and now he's going to get cleaned up. A lot of camels coming in for the Viper. We'll clean out the units from Mr. Yo, and with this castle coming up as well, it's gonna go up to 2 castles to produce trebuchets from. Should allow him to siege Mr. Yo much earlier, much faster, much more effectively, much harder. There we go, the castle is coming up in the end. It's just going to take some time. The tower over here needs to get cleaned up first. Mysterio's bringing more light check, guys. He's got a good amount of units. Got 3 castles to produce these guys from. But as long as he stays committed to the light check production, he won't be able to go up to the Imperial Age anytime soon. He's just taking all his resources. This might be what he needs to take the game back, though. Even if the Vipers and the Imperial Age, you know, light check are incredibly strong units. If he gets enough to match the numbers or potentially surpass Viper's Camel's numbers, the light check are going to come out on top, and right now that is actually the case. 14 light check for Mr. Yo, only 6 camels for the Viper, and not a whole lot of military for the red player, I'll tell you. Here we go. Guess it's going down for Mr. Yo. And this hurts so much. For somebody who is just banking on unique unit production, losing your castle is just such a huge blow. And the Viper's got a castle over here back home. He's going for trebuchet. He's going to try to take this castle down. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, he's coming in, guys. He's coming in with a light eye. He's going to try and take on the Viper. He was already able to push him out into the TC. And that TC is only going to have enough garrison space for 15 villagers. So the Viper's actually surrounding over here. His economy is crumbling. The Viper, while being up in the Imperial, it seems like he might end up taking a nail for this game. There's another castle coming up for Mr. Yo on the right hand side, and the Viper's losing everything, going down to 61 military units, 61 eco units rather, 16 military units, and Mr. Yo has just done so much damage. With this castle, he gets back the production that he lost by losing one of the castles earlier. And Mr. Yo's done a great job of playing the patience game over here and waiting until he had a good mass of units before going forward and striking. Up until that point, he's just been going forward with 4 lights at a time, and it was never enough. But now, he was able to get a lot of damage. Enough so that he can justify stopping production and saving the resource to go up to the Imperial Age. So the moment Mr. Yo gets to the Imperial Age, the Viper is going to start sweating cold for sure. This castle might be going down though for Mr. Yo still. So that's going to bring it down to only 2 castles left to produce Daiche with. And the Viper is going for a hand cannoneer. What? What? Why? High attack only? They're very slow to attack. You get one shot and then you get completely caught up, surrounded, and destroyed by the light chai. Interesting. Cherishi still out for the Viper. Mr. Yo should be able to dive in and take the troops down. Let's see. It seems like he's gonna try and go for it. And the Viper, if he's paying attention, might want to try and get some quick balls up over here, but not gonna be able to do it in time. Now that's going to be a great attack around the end. Still, Trebuchet will go down though. We're gonna see 1 going down the ground, 2 Trebuchets down the ground for sure. All 3 Trebuchets actually going down. I think he's gonna try, and he's getting all 3 Trebuchets. That's 1,200 resources down the drain for the Viper. He goes on to call it GG without Mr. Yo getting to the Imperial Age even. The Will player is able to take this game back. And guys, when I said earlier, should I enable predictions? It was too late, or it seemed to be too late, and the Viper seemed to be in a much better position. But Mr. Yo brought the game back, and what a great comeback in the game. And what a great position for us as well, guys, because with game number 6 going in favor of Mr. Yo, we have a full series. Game number 7 is coming up. The Viper 3, Mr. Yo 3. For the achievements, we get a very nice KD for Mr. Yo, getting better than 3 to 2 KD ratio. For the economy, we're going to have a stronger economy for the Viper, collecting about 1,000 extra resources, but did not matter. Because the KD over here was so good for Mr. Yo, and he was not trading for cheap units. We saw at the end, he took 3 trebuchets down, but he was taking villagers down, he was taking camels down, so it was not too cheap for the Viper to actually lose the units he lost. In the end, the villager max count was higher for Mr. Yo, as he also had the highest villager count towards the end of the game, after having lost 11 villagers throughout the game. While the Viper ended up losing 53 villagers, I think, this game. And welcome everyone! Mr. Yo playing with Franks, the Viper playing with Teutons. Let's switch the color once again for the Viper over here. Let's take a look at the civilizations. Really quickly, we won't take too long to get some action over here. So let's go through the civs and the map generation and whatnot. Starting with Mr. Yo playing with Franks means that he's gonna get free farm upgrades. In addition to that, he gets 15% faster working foragers, which is fantastic, right? Because we do have extra berries around the map over here, although they are not going to be immediately available. Mainly, these are going to be at the center. Besides that, we have for Mr. Yo civilization a 20% boost in HP, or 20% extra HP on cavalry units starting on the field age, as well as 25% cheaper castles. And for the team bonus, Franks will have 2 extra line of sight on Nightland units. Up in the north, the Viper playing with Teutons instead. He will get 40% cheaper farms. He's got a myriad of bonuses. Let's see if we can go through all of them. Many of these are going to be fairly irrelevant in this game, such as the ability to garrison 5 and 10 extra village and side towers and TCs from where they can shoot 4 and 5 extra arrows. The TC being able to garrison extra villages is going to be quite useful. The towers not so much. That's usually something that we see Teutons make use of on a map where they are going to be able to get the trash going. Besides that, Teutons also get free herbal medicines and murder holes. 1 and 2 extra melee armor on stable in barracks units in the castle and imperial ages. And then in addition to that, they're going to have for the team bonus conversion resistance, whereby units, or actually the conversion time from enemy monks, the conversion chances actually get halved, and the minimum maximum conversion times get increased by 1 and 2 seconds respectively. So it's a very, very interesting civilization, and something that a lot of people didn't really have any faith on before we saw it famously utilized on a very important series in the past by the Viper himself, because of the lack of light cavalry, right? Because what am I talking about? This is not, yeah, because of the lack of light cavalry, because of the lack of husbandry as well. So Teuton cavalry is not quite as fast, and mobility on maps like this is very, very important. Misread the farm bonus, 10 points to the chat. I am now reading the bonuses. I just recall them. So, what is it? 33% cheaper farms? Let me check. Now I'm curious. Oh, forgot about the monks healing having twice as much range. Rip. No, it says farms cost 40% less. What are you talking about? At the very least. That's it. That's what the tech tree says. In the past, it used to be different, but now it's 40%. Well, I still forgot about the healing range of the monks though, so never mind. Still 10 points to the chat. Yes, guys, only 1 minute and 15 seconds left for you to get your predictions going for the final game of the series, the decider over here, to see who moves on to the semifinals between the Viper and Mr. Yo. Here we are. Village is here for both these guys. Mr. Yo. He's got the stable already on the way. A good amount of food already, the Viper. He's got the stable coming up. He's not really been able to take advantage of the bonuses from Teuton so far. It's only going to be until he starts going for farms that he'll see some of the benefits of Teutons. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, of course, he's been already banking on the 15% faster working forager, so he's got a stronger food economy right now. So strong, in fact, that he could potentially go for a second stable, actually. We'll see the second scout come out over here for Mr. Yo. We'll see the second scout come out for the Viper very soon. Oh, he's housed. Oh, man, this is really bad for the Viper. Oh, he does have the second scout. Where is it? The OG one. This is the second one, then. He's taking a little bit longer to get the third scout out because of the house. And so far, Mr. Yo has not really been able to do anything over here in the Viper. The Viper's also trying to fish for some exposed villagers, but Mr. Yo's done a really good job defending himself. The Viper's done a really good job defending himself. Both players respecting each other. Mr. Yo with a little bit of a higher scout count over here, though. It seems to me like Teutons are a civilization that kind of needs to win in the Fuel Age. I mean, maybe not necessarily, because once they get to the Castle Age, then the cavalry gets 1 extra melee armor, right? But they don't get, like, cavalry. You wall him, but he can't even wall himself. Yeah. This is not actually... You cannot connect this, so it's always going to stay open. It would make sense if he was trying to go for the wall around the wood line, but he cannot do it because where is he going to wall to? It doesn't ever end. The Viper, on the other hand, if he wanted to be a little bit greedy over here, could potentially go for something like this. And we have seen players go for this before. It's just not common to see. Right, but this would ultimately provide you with the most protection. Here come the scouts from the Viper, Mr. Yo. He's gonna try to put pressure up in the north. He's gonna try to breach through over here. It's gonna be difficult. So long as the Viper pays attention, it's gonna be fine. So long as Mr. Yo pays attention over here, it's gonna be fine as well. Yeah. So it's stabilized, and it doesn't seem like anyone's gonna be able to get any snipes over here. So far, Neil, KD. The Viper did manage to get a hit by 1 villager, but it's going to be only temporary because of 10 seconds of idle TC time. There we are. Wall to the other edge, then you have safe goal. Oh yeah! That'll be even greedier, but it would secure the goal for sure. And another wood line. That's it. Here comes Mr. Yo's. Gotta be careful. Do we have any weak villages over here from the Viper? We do have some. The Viper's keeping the Spearman over here at hand as well. Yeah, and he's fine. He's fine. Meanwhile, the Viper is bringing some Spearmen forward. And let's take a look to see if Mr. Yo's got any weak villagers. No weak villagers over here whatsoever. Mr. Yo's done such a good job. I think he might have sent the weak ones. He's got no weak villagers whatsoever. Not a single one. All of these are full HP. It's fantastic. Yeah, take a look at that. Perfect HP. Tower on the way for the Viper. And Mysterio, well, Mysterio's gonna be on his way to the Castle Age very soon. In the end, Franks are a civilization that will get more food income earlier because of the 15% faster working foragers, but they will have the same amount of food available than the other players, so it takes longer for the Viper to collect the food from the berries. But once berries are out, both players will have to pay for the farms. That's where the Teuton bonus over here comes in handy. 40% cheaper farms are fantastic. And right now we have about 20 farms over here coming out from the Viper. Meanwhile, for Mr. Yo, yeah, that's going to represent a huge amount of wood that the Viper's been saving so far. Mr. Yo doesn't seem to see the tower. No, he does. He sees the tower. He doesn't have any other gold though. Why is he not reacting over here at all? Okay, he sees one tile over here. Well, the tower is coming up, and Mr. Yo, he's getting stone walls. It's going up to the Castle Age for sure, but the Viper is doing so much damage by pushing him away from this one. There we go, castle's coming up now. for the Viper finally, Castle H that is. Mr. Yo is making a play for this gold. This is really bad. He had a perfectly safe gold over here. He could potentially have, you know, held on to, but it seems to me like Mr. Yo is gonna try and make a play for castles. So that's why he might have tried to save the stone. They come in 25% cheaper for Mr. Yo. Or he could have tried to make a play for, or he will make a play for DCs perhaps. That's why he does not want to use the stone. Yeah, I could potentially just DC that as well. We'll see. Viper's trying to knock the defenses down from Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo's paying attention. Meanwhile, dual players roaming around over here. And the Viper's paying attention as well. Both these guys, they're just so good at keeping track of everything that's going on in this game. So far, they have been so good at keeping track of everything. As no one has lost a single villager yet. And it's not too hard to lose villagers over here. Even if you have spearmen, even if you have the TC, you know, you stop paying attention to your TC for 10 seconds and your enemy scouts already surround the villager and take it down. Easy. So we'll see the TC come up on the right hand side for Mr. Yo indeed. The Viper on the other hand is not really going for any of that. He's getting to the Castle H only now. And we see a villager go down. That's gonna be first blood. The Viper 1-0 for Rico KD. We have Pikeman over here for Mr. Yo already as well. The Pikeman upgrade is coming out for the Viper. Mr. Yo, he's got Knights 4 now, which are so much stronger. He's got extra Knights on the way as well. Over here and here. And the Viper is getting pushed away by the Pikeman. Yes. Well done by Mr. Yo. He ends up taking 4 of the scouts down. DC's eventually coming up as well. And overall villager counts looking better for Mr. Yo. That's going to be because of the Viper going for Wheelbarrow and also getting a little bit of extra idle TC time over here. But Mr. Yo is going to catch up. He's going for Wheelbarrow. And now that he's got the second TC up, he should be able to keep production going despite the fact that Wheelbarrow is idling one of the TCs, of course. But this is never ideal. It's never ideal when you are relying on a single resource over here. Eventually, I will offer Mr. Yo to get the castle up. Right. Potentially on the hill over here for the bull player. Okay, it's going to go for the castle. It's fine. And all that he's got to do, honestly, is just take that tower down and then get access to the gold once again. Second, this is already out for the Viper behind the walls over here, completely safe on the wood line. And the game has stabilized. This has turned, you know, this has gone from a hectic Field H landman this game to a pretty standard multiple TC Castle H game where the players are not really able to do too much. And we'll rely on Siege to take the TCs down, or we have to play to the Imperial H for the Imperial H to take the castles down as well. A lot of Knights for the Viper though. Mr. Yo's been going for economy, but the Viper's going for economy right now as well. He's only 6 villages behind. It's not too bad. Yeah, so the tower goes down. And the Viper, Mr. Yo gets access to the goal over here once again. Now he's got 2. DLE also on the left hand side. We would see another TC coming out for Mr. Yo, or potentially another castle, so that he can secure this. Hey, Deal! Hi. By the way, when it comes to Smeagol, Deagle, what are they? Are they brothers, friends? Does anybody know? Now I'm pretty curious. Sorry about that. You might be just called Deagle after the gun, perhaps, but remind me of Lord of the Rings. Couldn't follow the tournament. How far are we into it? We are in the quarterfinals. This right now is the last quarterfinal that we have left. Whoever wins over here is gonna be moving on to the semifinals to play tomorrow. To be played tomorrow, starting 16 GMT. And then on Sunday, we're gonna have the third spot match and the grand finals also. For the final stream start at 16 GMT, if I'm not mistaken. Is it going to be 16 or is it going to be 15 GMT? I would have to take a look at it. But anyway, Viper loses a monk over there to the scouts from Mr. Yo. Remember, there's a lot of resource down the drain for the Viper. And Mr. Yo, he's getting the 30C. The Viper's getting the TC. Just got it up. Mr. Yo should get it up right now as well. No problem. TC on the way for the Viper though. He's going full economy. And Mr. Yo's got a second castle on the way. Yes, sir. The potential to see throwing axemen over here could be really strong once you get to a good amount of units. But wouldn't they have the mobility though? Meanwhile, on the right hand side, a lot of knights coming in right now from the Viper. Pikemen over here as well, and Mr. Yo will be able to defend. But the Viper is respecting the TC over here, the potential for a fully garrisoned TC plus the pikemen. Otherwise, he would actually be able to take this engagement pretty easily. Now that Mr. Yo is bringing extra pikemen over to the right hand side, that's not going to be the case anymore for the Viper, so he's got to be careful. Chimbardin armor on the way for the Viper. Mr. Yo, he's getting very close to have enough resource to go up to the Imperial Edge. As a matter of fact, if he's got a market, and let me take a look to see if he does. Yes, he can use the market and already go up to the Imperial Age. He's playing Franks. He's got the highest HP paladins in the game. Although, given both these civilizations get half of the year, that's not what we are going to see most likely. Which is why I was suggesting the throwing axeman perhaps, and Mr. Yo is going for one, but not too heavily, and he's going to use the market, and he will go up to the Imperial Age. Well, the Viper gets pushed away by the pikeman over here. That's not the best army composition for the red player to engage against blue over here, so he does disengage. And now we'll see the spearman coming out right now. The pikeman coming in from the Viper. And it seems like the red player is coming out on top. He's got more units. So he cleans that up without too many issues. He's left on a good amount of knights over here. A good amount of pikemen can go forward. Use this momentum, while Mr. Yo on the other hand, he's got 10 stone miners. By the time he's able to get a castle up on the right hand side, should be able to make it very difficult for the Viper to get any push going, right? With the castles up on the left, center, and right hand side of his base. The Viper not going up to the Imperial Age just yet. Extra villages now for the Viper after getting the 50C up. He was able to catch up to Mr. Yo and surpass him as well. But those are extra resources he had to spend with a smaller economy, while Mr. Yo had a stronger economy from earlier. So up until this point, Mr. Yo... Oh, interestingly enough, he does not have quite as much gather economy time compared to the Viper. I thought it was going to be higher for the Bull player. It's better for the Viper, only by about 16 minutes. So it's not a huge margin. And given the fact that KD overall favors the Viper as well, I'm actually not really sure why he's struggling to go up to the Imperial Age himself quite as much. He's got 2 extra TCs, yes, but he did not go for the castles, for instance. I guess it's just the extra military that he's produced that kind of ate into the resources that he would have needed to go up to the Imperial Age in any case. But there we go, guys. Mr. Yo is hitting the Imperial Age before the Viper even clicks up. There's a chemistry on the way now for Mr. Yo. How cool will it be to have flaming axes for the throwing axemen with chemistry? Just dip them in kerosene, or gasoline, and just light them on fire. Obviously, I mean, if somebody throws you an axe at 60 miles per hour and it buries into your chest, I don't think the fact that it's on fire is going to be the lethal aspect of it. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference, to be fair, just to clarify that, but it'll make for a cool visual effect in any case. Anyway, Jerry's are on the way already for Mr. Yo. He's got bearded axe, so it's going to be full on axe play for Mr. Yo. He's got chemistry. No flaming axes though. What's the name of the character from Mario that also throws axes? Bowser? Something like that? Yeah, we are going full Bowser for Mr. Yo. Plate mail armor. On the Siege Workshop, we'll see also bombard cannons potentially coming very soon. Oh, Koopas throw axes in some level. Oh, that's true. Koopas. Okay. Almost is going full Koopas over here. And he was trying to get a castle up on the right-hand side. This is not coming up. These stone miners need to get quick walled over here. Stay alive, and that castle is going to be denied for sure. I think at this point in time it's better for Mysterio to just delete the foundation. He's finished researching chemistry, but he's not going for bombard cannons yet. No. He's just going to stick to trebuchets for the time being. He's in a pretty good spot. Should be able to take the castle down over here from the Viper. It's going to be left in only one castle over here. Meanwhile, down the south, we're going to see the red player trying to get the raids going. But Mr. Yo is able to defend with the TC just fine. Taking the scouts down from the Viper. And then on the right-hand side, I think the Viper is eventually, yes, going to get to the villagers. In the end, I think he ended up getting a villager only, right? The pikemen over here from Mr. Yo are actually making a big difference. And it seems like Mr. Yo, he's going to come into the castle. This is, after all, a good location. It's just that he wasn't really able to secure it before. But if he was able to get the castle up, that's going to leave the Viper, or actually that's going to be Mr. Yo protected on the left-hand side, at the center, and then on the right-hand side as well. But Mr. Yo ends up getting pushed away by the Viper and won't be able to get the castle up over here in the end. Let's see if he's paying attention. He is. At the center, the Viper spends so many resources trying to keep the castle up. So Yo keeps on going pretty heavily into pikemen, and he's gotta go for halberdier. He's got the resources. Go for it. Against Cavalier, pikemen will crumble, so he needs halberdier. There we go. He's going for it now. With plate mill armor, that's going to make these guys significantly stronger. Even if he does not have blast for it doesn't matter, right? He's just going to rely on the bonus damage, so it's okay. But he needed to get halberdier at the very least. Now, the Viper lost the castle in the end. And here comes Mr. Yo. He's coming in with the throwing axeman, the bombard cannon, and the trebuchets. 4 trebuchets. But I am not liking this. The Viper's got 20 cavalier already. He's got a lot more queued up. And if he comes around the center over here, he can surround the throwing axeman, clean these units up, and take the trebuchets, take the bombard cannons, and that's gonna be thousands of resources down the drain for Mr. Yo. Meanwhile, at the bottom, we're gonna see the Viper coming for the raid over here. It's gonna get to the very back of Mr. Yo's base, going after the wall line, taking a bunch of villagers over here. Will now getting pushed away by the halberdier eventually, but Mr. Yo's gotta stretch himself too thin, just trying to reach everywhere on the back of his base. Meanwhile, the Viper's doing a really great job splitting his army up. Sending some units over the left-hand side, sending some units over here to the back of Mr. Yo's base, and Mr. Yo's just going to lose so much. In front, we see the Cavalier coming in from the Viper, pushing the throwing axeman away. In the end, he does end up taking the bombard cannon down, and the trebuchets down as well. So that is thousands of resources down the drain for Mr. Yo, who's falling behind to 82 workers. The Viper, 135 instead. It's looking so much stronger at 170 population. Mr. Yo is banking just on halberdier now to play, and that is, we know of course, gonna be good for defense, but he won't be taking the Viper down with halberdier alone. And it is pretty difficult for Mr. Yo right now, yes. And once again, this is a matchup that might look like this, might look very unfavorable for player number 1 today, but in the past, Teutons were not really considered a very strong pick for Land Madness. It was actually a big surprise by the Viper. First time that we saw it on the main stage, and now it seems to have shifted the meta. Viper Civilization is looking absolutely fantastic. Hey Hardcore Massive, hi, welcome. Here we go. Came in just in time. Hey, Buzzmere. Hi, welcome back. It's kind of a counter pick versus popular land madness picks, I would say. I would say that sounds about right. Yeah. It's gonna keep on raiding on the right hand side, and Mr. Yo is gonna keep on trying. Of course, we talked about this in the previous game. It seemed as if everything was lost for Mr. Yo and he was able to bring the game back, but he's gotta keep on trying because this is his tournament life on the line. This is probably the last series for today. Yes. Yes, it is, Basimir. Too busy being a family man. I hope you're having a good time. I hope everything's going alright for you and your family as well, Basimir. It's always nice to see you come back. Family first indeed. Yes! That's the way it should be. Well done. We're doing great. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Beautiful push. Over here, Mr. Yo does end up, for the most part, containing the Viper over here. Military count's gonna be a little bit higher for Mr. Yo now. But he's still struggling so much. 107 villagers versus 142 for Mr. Yo and the Viper, respectively. Now the Viper's going for Onager too. Onager's going to absolutely change the game. He's got it. And take a look at that. He's going after the Halberdier. The best unit control over there though, ends up getting picked up by the Bombard Cannon, but yeah, a good amount of Onagers over here is going to take even on Bombard Cannons, which is fine. Let's say that the Viper runs out of gold. That's not going to happen. He's got 41 gold minus, but let's say he runs out of gold. What do we have left for both these guys? Both Teutons and Franks have the same skirmishers without Bracer, without Thambring. Elite skirmishers for both. Teutons don't get light cavalry. They are only confined to scout cavalry, but they do have extra melee armor on cavalry units. So there's scout cavalry are going to have +2 melee armor, and the Halberdier are going to have +2 melee armor. So they are very strong still. And of course, the economy is going to be very strong for Teutons because of the cheaper farms. And he's just finished researching crenellations, by the way. So the Viper's castle is going to have extra range, enough so to target siege engineers, bombard cannons over here. So long as the Viper's paying attention, he should be able to prevent the castle from going down to bombard cannons, and it would only be trebuchets that Mr. Yo will be able to utilize in this matchup. And they both run out of wood. Teutons win with the farming bonus. Indeed. Does the Viper know about the goal in the north corner? He should, I think. Right? Yeah, he knows. Players have almost 100% scouting information, both, I would assume. Yeah. Only unable to scout behind the trees in the forests. Here we go. I believe in Yo. I will always believe in Yo. This can just mirror that combo with a unique unit and have bonuses across all of these units. Yeah, that is true as well. That is absolutely true. And now the Viper's going for Paladin. Well, Mr. Yo is only now going for the Cavalier upgrade. If we take a look at the golds available around the map. Oh, Mr. Yo is going for Chivalry. Okay, that it is. Makes the game a little bit more interesting. 40% faster working stables will allow for him to go for Paladin significantly faster, but yeah, if we take a look at the map, it seems as if there is about a comparable amount of gold available for both these guys. So we have, as we have right now, about 50% of map control for each player. Although it might not be the case for much longer though. The Cavalier moving over the right hand side from the Viper, 15 seconds away from becoming Paladin, and he'll be able to push the gold miners from Mr. Yo away from here. And then at the center, he's got just the bombard cannons, Onager, And the half of the year to keep on pushing with. Good shot. Here comes the Paladin though, as the Viper finishes researching this. He's gonna get the raids going, and Mr. Yo has a lot of economy exposed. There's a castle over here, yes. There's a TC over here, but it's not going to be enough for him to defend against everything. Especially to secure some of the extra resources over here, for instance. The Viper's hoping to get access to this gold at some point, and he's got the Paladin to push Mr. Yo away from it. He's got the Paladin to keep on pushing Mr. Yo around, and Mr. Yo's managed to get Paladin himself as well extremely quickly because of Chivalry. Completely missed him queuing up the upgrade and getting it, but yeah, the Viper's looking so much stronger. Take a look at that. He's got 18 units queued up and he's in 200 population. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is in 156, struggling to get past 160. And while he's got Chivalry, production is still not strong enough for him to catch up to the Viper. 20 Paladins right now for Mr. Yo. Higher HP compared to the Viper. The Viper's higher armor. And so far, the games look significantly better for the red player. Another raid's coming up as expected. Looking pretty good for the Vipers. Gotta, you know, avoid the half of the year, but he's so far been able to do a lot of damage. And now Mr. Yo's trying to go for the counter raids, and he's finding some villagers. He's finding some villagers. He's got a lot of Paladins still queued up. Interestingly enough, right now Mr. Yo's got more Paladin than the Viper. If both these players start to get to 200 population again, as the Viper scrambled down to 170 and Mr. Yo to 160. If both these players are able to get to 200 populations, Mr. Yo has full Paladin army versus full Paladin army for the Viper. I'm actually not really sure. I think the Franks come out on top, right? Who wins in a 1v1 fight between the Teuton Paladin and the Frank Paladin? I think the extra HP is more than sufficient to offset for the extra armor, isn't it? Teuton Paladin? Oh, okay. So what's completely off over there? So the Teuton Paladins would come out on top. So that is not something that Mr. Yo will want to play for, as the Viper is going to have the more pop effective unit in the end. Yes. Go. Right, only 12 HP. True, you get bloodlines that already offsets for some of the 20% extra HP that they get. Right, yeah, that makes sense for sure. Thank you. I'm just gonna keep on roaming around. It's got a much stronger military count right now. It's gonna try and get a castle up at the center, which is beautiful. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is gonna keep on trying to go for the counter raids over here, but doesn't seem like he'll be able to match the Viper. As we have a comfortable amount of Paladin over here, plus half of the year chasing Mr. Yo's units. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, it's going to be a lot of extra Paladin coming in from the Viper over here. Mr. Yo, still behind the population, but not too far behind. Not as far behind as he was before when the Viper was on 200 and he was on 160, right? Now it's only going to be 20 extra population for the Viper. So far, though, not gonna lie, looking pretty darn good for the Viper. Another castle on the way for Mr. Yo. I guess the problem over here for the bull player is that the discount on the castle allows for him to defend himself, but doesn't really allow for him to push back. As the Viper's got stronger units, if Mr. Yo tries to go for forward castles, for instance, he's gonna need to bring his own units to secure the castle coming up, and the Viper's got stronger units to deny the castle, so Mr. Yo can just go for somewhat defensive castles, and in the end, it's not even going to be it, guys! Mr. Yo gets the castle denied on the left-hand side. There's a lot going on around. Mr. Yo still behind in population, struggle to keep up with the Viper. Now let's assume up until this point, Mr. Yo's produced a lot of extra units compared to the Viper. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the current military count, it's only going to be about 13 extra military units for the Viper. But he has taken so far 90 extra units from Mr. Yo. 231, 234 KD for the Viper. So Mr. Yo has had to train 100 additional units compared to the Viper. Given the fact that the red player is going to have, well, once he gets all the eco upgrades anyway, a stronger economy, especially because of the farm discount. That is not something Mr. Yo can afford, which explains why he's been on the back foot all day long, right? You take a look at the Viper. It's got 6 hours of extra gather economy time compared to Mr. Yo. So the fact that the blue player is still alive and keeps on going over here and is somewhat close in terms of population against the Viper is nothing short of remarkable for Mr. Yo. But in all honesty, the Vipers had a much better game so far. With more gather economy time, a much better KD, getting, you know, almost actually over 100 extra units over here. Compared to Mr. Yo, that is just thousands of resources Mr. Yo had to spend just to keep up with military, and it's not enough. It's not enough. And the Viper taking his own villages down with onagers. Yeah, and that cast is getting denied. Well, down the Viper does delete the foundation though, so he gets most of the stone back. And he's bringing more paladin over. Right now 43 paladins for the Viper, 7 paladin for Mr. Yo, just full on halberdier. Which once again will suffice for playing defensively, but it's not going to be enough for him to do any damage forward. So, the writing's on the wall, guys. We are getting past 1 hour of in-game time. We know that the Viper is going to have a much stronger military to work with for a much longer period of time. He's got much more map control, which secures extra resource for him, extra golds. If you take a look at Mr. Yo, he's got just this one. That's going to amount for about 1500 gold. Meanwhile, the Viper's got this. He's got this. And he's got this to the corner that he's collecting from. Which is going to amount to about 2000 gold. It's not a lot for anybody, really. But even then, we already talked about the possibility of both players running out of resources. And, you know, Teutons getting extra armor and halberdier as well. Him still playing this game is nothing short of remarkable. Absolutely. Just want something tiny nice. Mix a few in with a halberdier and it's beautiful. That'd be great. So let's see. The Viper's going for a forecastle over here. And I would say we are probably 10 minutes away from the map completely running out of gold. Tops. The Viper won't be able to utilize the hail over there too much, although he could probably have waited 2 more seconds and gotten the castle up anyway, but yeah, he's going for this one over there. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo's got the trebuchets, and now these trebuchets are going down, and the halberdier are getting taken down by the paladin. The more pop efficient unit for the Viper comes on top, reigns supreme, and Mr. Yo loses the trebuchets. Loses a fight with full halberdier against paladin, and the Viper's got an unstoppable power push with full paladin in halberdier. Well, Mr. Yo, he's just scrambling to keep on defending himself, but it seems like this might finally be the killing blow. As Mr. Yo drops under 130 population in the next few seconds, and the Viper is going to be locked at 200 population with 33 units queued up. So Yo struggling big time to keep up over here, and the castles are going down. The defense are going down. Now these villages are exposed. These villages are exposed. Without the castle, there's no way for Mr. Yo to come back, and the Viper, he calls a G. Actually, gets game number 7. Mr. Yo calls a GG. As the Viper takes the final game over here in a full set filled with action. The very brim, we're going to see the Viper move on to the semi-final to be played tomorrow against the winner of the previous quarterfinal. In the spirit of not spoiling the series that we cast earlier today, I'm not going to say who that is, but if you were around here earlier, you should know. So let's go through the achievements one final time before hopping out and taking a look at the interview. If you're watching on Twitch, you're going to see the interview. If you're watching on YouTube, what are you doing? Come and watch on Twitch live. We watch the interviews over here. On YouTube is not going to be the case, but anyway. 32k the ratio for the Viper. For the economy, a stronger economy for the Viper, collecting about 25,000 extra resources and just dominating in every single regard. Much higher villager max count, much higher villager final count as well. A lot fewer villagers lost throughout this game, and overall APM looking better for the Viper, so Mr. Yo doesn't go down without swinging, but ultimately gets knocked down in the quarterfinals.